Hmm. All right. Hello, good morning,
Good
everyone. Good day,
morning,
rather.
everybody.
Can you hear me, everyone? All right. Thank you so much for coming on board on this free webinar tagged Building a Successful Career, Leveraging Project Management, Business Analysis, and Agile Mindset. We quite understand that there's network issues around the country and even beyond the shores of Nigeria, especially some Africa countries, due to issues with the marine cable cuts. And it's quite unfortunate that it's happening at this time that can you hear me? Okay. It's quite unfortunate that it's happening at this time that this webinar was scheduled to hold. Okay. So we'll just try and make the most of it. And if need be, if we'll do as much as the internet will let us or allow us. And if need be, if we have to reschedule, we'll also have to do that. Okay. All right. So my name is Pius Ivaroga, and I work with Dexnova Consulting, the organizers of this free webinar. This webinar is actually meant to, you know, enlightening us on how you can build a successful career leveraging project management, business analysis, and agile. As the program unfolds, you will get to know much about the organization called Dexnova Consulting and also what we do and how we can also help you in achieving your career goals. All right. In the meantime, so we don't waste much of our time, I would like to introduce the facilitator for this session, our guest speaker, who will be talking to us on this subject matter, who will be doing justice to it. Um, his name is Ekemini Jacobs. He's MBA, PMP, and professional Scrum Masters too. So he will be talking to us this afternoon and giving us further insights on how we can actually leverage the subject matters we have talked about: project management, business analysis, and agile. All right. So at this point in time, I want to hand you over to Mr. Ekemini Jacobs to take it up from here. We can see the house is still very scanty. We have just a handful of us here, but we can say because the house is not full yet, we will now punish those who came into the meeting early. All right. So at this point, I want to hand over to the facilitators and our guest speaker for this afternoon. Mr. Ekemini Jacobs, you are welcome on board. I will hand over the baton to you right now. Thank you so much.
All right, you're welcome. Thank you very much, Mr. Pius. And thank you very much to each and every one of us that is here, irrespective of the internet issues we're having almost throughout the country. It's a pleasure to be here, and I'm glad to be your facilitator for today. I always love to communicate and just to make sure that we are in sync with each other. Please, I would encourage us to make use of the chat box to always put me in the loop so I can know that I'm not here alone and you can hear me, you can see my screen, and we are communicating. Thank you very much, Mr. Pius. Thank you very much, Dexnova Consulting, for having me to be the facilitator for today. And by God's grace, I will do everything possible to do justice to the topic, introduce us to project management, business analysis, and the agile mindset. So welcome once again. And before we proceed, I would encourage us to meet each other. Let's get to know each other. Let's use the chat box, introduce yourself. Let's know your name, where you're attending the webinar from, and what you do. And if you don't mind, you can also share your LinkedIn profile link to so we can communicate. So we can connect with you. I would love to connect with each and every one of us here on the webinar. So please do well to introduce yourself using the chat box. Just tell us your name, what you do. If you want to share where you're working, there's no problem. Share your LinkedIn profile. There's no problem. I will be glad to connect with each and every one of us. And any other information you can share about yourself, you're very much welcome to do so. And also let us know where you're attending this webinar from. I want to count us lucky that despite the network issues we're having throughout the country, we are able to be here. And one of those 11 lucky people that have been able to uh, attend this webinar, and you're one of them. I'm very sure that a lot of people are trying to join. I had some people from my end who were to attend, but they're reaching me that they are unable to join because of the network issues. So if you're here, count yourself lucky because we have good information to share with you. And I always call sessions like this knowledge exchange because you will learn from me and I will also learn from you. So you're welcome once again. I would have put on my camera, but the internet is a little bit shaky, so that might affect the bandwidth and how the whole thing works. So at some point, I may be putting off my camera. So you've seen my face, and it's good to meet each and every one of us. Please let's get to know each other on the using the chat box. Okay, welcome Abdullahi Ayatu, project coordinator from Lagos. Nice to meet you. We are about 12 persons here. You've met Mr. Piers from Dexnova. I'm looking forward to meeting others. So you're welcome, Abdullahi. Please do well to use the chat box. Let's get to meet you. Share information you think you can share with each and every one of us so we get to know each other. Your name, what you do, where you work, where you're joining us from, maybe your LinkedIn profile if you want to share that, and also let us know one professional skill you are looking forward to acquiring this year. I would really love to know that. I really love to know that. I always love to know that about people so that I know how I can help if it's within my capacity. So if you don't mind, you can share one professional skill you look forward to learning this year, whether it's project management, it's business analysis, it's any of the agile frameworks. There's no problem. Share. Let's get to meet you. Okay, Ahmed. Okay, welcome, Ahmed, project/facility manager, First Bank Lagos. Nice to meet you, Ahmed. You're very much welcome. That's from Ahmed. Ahmed has joined us from Lagos. We have two people from Lagos already. So I am also joining from Akwa Ibom. So we have someone representing Akwa Ibom. Hopefully, we should have everybody representing every state of the country. Okay, Uzo Victoria. Nice to meet you, Uzo Victoria, project administrator, Optima Energy, Lagos. You're welcome. Nice to meet you. Looking forward to learning about project management. Ayatu Abdullahi. You're welcome, Ayatu. You didn't tell us where you're joining us from and probably what you do. Whether it's project management or not, there's no problem. A lot of people are joining to get to know about project management, business analysis, and the agile mindset for the first time. So there's no problem. Even if you're doing something that is far different from the reason why we are here. So it's okay to introduce whatever you do. But if you don't want to let us know that, that's very much okay. That's fine. Ayomide, welcome, Ayomide. Good to meet you. Welcome. Fortunately, didn't tell us where you're joining us from. I would love to know that. A lot of people are joining from Lagos. I'm joining from Akwa Ibom currently. So good to meet each and every one of us. All right, no problem. Keep the introductions rolling in. And I will try as much as possible to check the chat as much as I can. And also, please, I would encourage us to drop questions. From time to time, I will be checking the chat box to see if there are questions, there are contributions. I will try to read that out and also share information there with us. So please do well to use the chat button, ask questions from time to time. If possible, we can always unmute ourselves, ask questions at some point in the webinar. But prior to that time, if you have any question you want to ask, please don't hesitate dropping those questions on the WhatsApp. Sorry, I don't know why I'm mentioning WhatsApp on the chat box. All right. Thank you very much. Oyomide is joining us from Lagos, project assistant. I'm just working as a project assistant. Thank you very much, Oyomide. Welcome, Oyomide. Welcome, Ayatu Abdullahi. Welcome, Uzo Victoria. Welcome, Ahmed. Welcome, Deremi Awade, Senior Assistant and Project Manager, Lagos State Government. It's a pleasure to have you, Aderemi. You're very much welcome. And please apologies if I don't get your name exactly how it is pronounced, okay? All right, please bear with me. Abdullahi Ayatu, you're very much welcome as well. Thank you. Welcome, Divine from Dexnova Consulting, and our host, Mr. Pius from Dexnova. It's a pleasure to meet all of us once again. To those I'm meeting for the first time, nice to meet you. And for those I'm meeting again, good to meet you once again. All right, so I will proceed. Before I introduce Dexnova, my name is Ekemini Jacobs. As I already said, I am a project management professional certified by PMI. I have practiced project management for over 8 years. I've worked in technology, I've worked in manufacturing, and I've also worked in the development and non-profit sector. I'm currently a project management consultant and a facilitator. My certifications, I have a Master of Business Administration MBA. I have a project management professional PMP certified by PMI, and I'm also professional Scrum Master certified. Also have Agile Hybrid Pro certification from PMI as well. I have come to love. I have had experience in operations. I've worked in supply chain, but I've really come to fall in love with project management. I love to solve problems. I love to identify a problem, solve it, implement it, and then off I go. So that's why I love project management. I still love operations, no doubt, more especially supply chain management. I've worked in logistics and procurement, but project management has been where I've come to major, and I love doing everything I do in project management, whether actually managing projects or training projects professionals or facilitating project management webinars, seminars, and sessions like this. It's a pleasure meeting you, and welcome to Dexnova Consulting Limited. They are the organizers of this webinar, and they've been doing great things. They've been doing this for a long time, creating avenue to share knowledge, develop capacity of professionals, and they've existed for years. And Mr. Pius, maybe at some point in the webinar, would share more information about Dexnova Consulting. But just so you know that the mission of the company is to collaborate and build excellent delivery, delivery capacity in organizations across Africa through strategic initiatives and human resource capacity development, ensuring value is delivered to all stakeholders. So whether in their management consulting services, whether in their training services, in their recruitment and outsourcing services, Dexnova is out to deliver excellence. Particularly in their training services, they offer the following trainings: project management professional, PMP, based on the PMI framework, certified business analysis professional, CBAP, the Agile certified practitioner, ACP, maintenance and reliability professional certification, professional Scrum Master certifications, Primavera, P6, Basic and Advanced, and the Prince 2 certifications, both foundation and practitioner. They also render human resource services such as recruitment, outsourcing, and all of that. So welcome once again as we proceed into my presentation proper. So I think I will have to put off my video so that it wouldn't affect my internet. All right, welcome once again, and let's go on. So, all right. So I would love us to do something before we proceed. Make use of the chat box. Make use of the chat box. Let's get to know us better. Okay, so I have three categories here. First, my first career journey. So for people who are here trying to launch into their first professional career. The second category is switching career for those who are actually, they've been in a particular profession before, and then for one reason or the other, they're falling in love with another professional area, such as project management, business analysis, and the rest, and they want to switch careers to any of that. Okay, that's the second category. And then the third are those who are here or who wants to learn project management, business analysis, and any other professional skill just to complement the primary one they are into. So they're not out there to switch. They don't want to switch. They just want those skills to complement the primary career path. So I would want us to just tell us, if you don't mind, just tell us where you belong. Just tell us where you belong. I would love to know. Okay, Shaibu belongs to 3. That's great. I love people who continuously develop their capacity, gaining, because I always tell professionals that being a professional is about measuring in a skill and also learning the complementary skills. No skill, no career path stands on its own to make you successful. If a project manager, you cannot be a successful project manager without being an excellent communicator. You need to have good communication skills, good facilitation skills, good leadership skills, good stakeholders engagement skills, the ability to engage with stakeholders, communicate with people, the ability to lead people. These skills all join together to make you a successful project management professional, not just about learning and specializing in the tools and techniques in project management. So I love to meet people who gain additional skills just to complement the ones they are into. So Schweib, that's where you fall under, and it's a pleasure meeting you. Okay, Yomide falls under 1. So I want to believe that you are about launching into your first career path, and I will be glad to be of assistance. Dexnova Consulting Limited will be glad to assist you launch successfully into your chosen career path. That is what Dexnova stands for. That's what they believe in, helping young professionals grow in their chosen career path. All right, so just 2 people. I just keep it coming. I want to know where we all belong. I belong to all of them from 1 to 2. I will have need to switch career paths tomorrow, and I will always do that. And I've come to major in project management, everything around project management. And for me to develop my capacity more, I've even gone as far as acquiring trainings, working experience, and certifications in other areas that complement my project management capacity. Okay, so business analysis, the agile frameworks, because as a project manager, you need to know your way of work. You need to know which methodology or framework you can use depending on the kind of project. Imagine you're trying to develop a tech product or a software product, and you're using the waterfall approach to it. So as a project manager, as a professional project manager, I need to enhance my capacity by learning other frameworks, getting other skills that would make me function better as a project manager. Okay, Ayatu Abdullahi, you fall under 3. Okay, great. Great to meet you. I love people who try to acquire other skills to be able to, that will help them advance in their primary skill. You're welcome. Okay, keep it coming. I will be visiting the chat box to see them as we go. All right. So before we proceed into the actual topics or areas of concentration today, which is going to be project management, business analysis, and your development of the agile mindset that will aid how you perform these two professions. Okay, so before we do that, before we step into those areas, I would love to just give us a run through on how to implement your transition to a new career, or even if you're choosing a new career, some guide on how to successfully choose a career path and grow in it. Or you're trying to transition to a new career path, it's almost the same approach. So number one, I will always say, as I do advise a lot of young professionals, identify your career path. So use whatever consideration, be it personal, be it professional, be it or industry considerations, analyze every scenario, what motivates you, what's your passion for, what you feel that you exist as human to achieve on earth, whatever consideration you want to take into consideration, use that to first of all identify your career path. So you need to identify what you want to do, where you want to major in before you can even make any progress. You don't need, I know people say that no knowledge is a waste. Yes, fine. I believe in that. So that there's no knowledge that's a waste, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you don't have a focus. You don't have to learn everything. Not like that. You have to get a focus where you're driving to, and this will determine what you learn, what courses you decide to take, what trainings you decide to take, which area you need to develop your capacity. Yeah. So first of all, identify a career path. When you identify a career path, make a research into that career path. Don't just launch into project management because you go to LinkedIn and everybody's talking about project management, or you go to LinkedIn, everybody's talking about business analysis, you see agile everywhere, and then you decide to go into project management, you decide to go into business analysis or any other skill you may choose to professionalize in. Don't just do that. First of all, when you've chosen your path, you need to make research to know some information about that career path. You need to know what that career path entails, what skill sets, and what kind of education you need. There are some career paths that requires more of academics. There's some career paths that requires more of professional training. If I want to become a project manager, yes, people go for MSc in project management and all that. But do I necessarily have to do that? Which one is better? Professional training, professional certifications versus academic degrees. So what your career path determines, you're researching your career path determines what you choose, what approach to learning you choose, and also what are the chances of employment. If you are out there if you're trying to choose a career path so you could get a better job, you have to research what's the chance of getting employed in this career path, how much employment openings are there in this career path I'm trying to choose. Okay, another consideration, another thing you have to look out for while doing the research of your career path could be what is the average salary? Okay, there's some career paths, or there are some professions which the average salary is higher compared to the other. So if you're looking out for employment, you want to choose a career path that will aid your employability, then you need to make a research and look out for this. There are some other persons who wants to choose a career path, not actually to gain employment, but probably to use that to establish his or our own business, own company. The considerations, what the person will look out for could be different. Things like what's the market for this product I want to launch, what's the market for these services I want to produce or I want to deliver. So you need to make a research after choosing your career path. You need to make a research into your career path to be able to get the needed information. as much as possible. You can use places like LinkedIn. I always advise young professionals today not to miss places like LinkedIn. You need to have a LinkedIn profile because that's where a lot of things are happening. It's shocking that not so many recruiters or companies employ people from opening job opportunities, from opened announcements and the rest, placement. Now, people reach out to professionals on LinkedIn directly, having watched their LinkedIn profile for a while, know what they're doing, see their level of experience. So be on LinkedIn, optimize your profile, make it rich enough. Every little training, certifications you have, put it there, let people come to see your profile and know that, okay, you're certified in this, you have these skills, you are trained in this, you've had this level of experience. Apart from LinkedIn, you can also use places like Indeed. Indeed is also another place you can use to make research as to what career path you can choose or what are the informations, employment opportunities, job openings, average salary, and all that. So take advantage of LinkedIn, Indeed, and other professional platforms. Okay. Number three, when you've chosen your career path, you have made research into the career path. Now come back to yourself, assess yourself, not just assessing yourself, genuinely assess, because people can assess themselves, but they are not genuine about that assessment. You know very well that you have less capacity in this, but you don't want to make yourself feel bad by seeing a disadvantage in you. You have to say, okay, no, I am good at this when you're not actually. So when you make a good assessment of yourself, you'll be able to identify the areas of your strength. Then you also be able to identify the areas of your weakness. It is from these weaknesses you've identified. Probably you'll be able to say, okay, fine, I have weakness in this area, and then this weakness may affect my launch into this career path or my transition into this career path. And for that reason, I think I need to develop my capacity in that area. So genuinely assessing yourself is what helps you identify those gaps you need to fill to be able to launch successfully into that career path. And one standout tool, age-long tool I always recommend that works so much is SWOT analysis. I remember when I was, even in my first year in the university, I've been exposed to SWOT analysis since my secondary school. So I used to think that SWOT analysis was just was to be used by corporate institutions only, knowing the strength of the company, the weaknesses, the opportunities, and threats. Until at some point, I realized that SWOT analysis can also be used for individual assessment. You know your strength, you know your weaknesses. From the knowledge of your weaknesses, you'll be able to take decisions on what to do to enhance, to develop those areas of weaknesses. So you want to launch into project management or business analysis, and then you realize that, oh, I am not good at communication. I'm not good at leadership. I don't even have project management knowledge. So what are you going to do? That's where you decide what skill you need to learn, which area you need to develop your capacity so as to be able to bridge that gap between the new area you want to launch into and your present status. So SWOT analysis is one of those key tools you can use to do your self and assessments. And I'm very sure that most of us or almost everybody is familiar with SWOT analysis. It's just that's a tool you use to identify or discover your strength, your weaknesses, the opportunities, and the threats. So opportunities could be, okay, what are the opportunities in what opportunities out there? Are there so many job opportunities, or there's something that is happening and then people will need much of this skill I'm trying to develop? That's an opportunity. Threats could be anything outside that can affect your transition into that career path. So when you do your self-analysis, you'll be able to understand all these factors and then know decisions to take. Even at this point, you could discover that, okay, maybe that career path you want to choose is not really the ideal one for you. And then you could go back to step one and choosing a new one. When you do this, you will avoid the situation whereby you've spent resources, time trying to learn and develop your capacity in a certain career path just to end up realizing that this path does not really fit you. And then you have to start the process again. Okay, so after self-assessment, The next step is learning and developing your capacity. This comes after self-assessment, because when you assess yourself, one of the most important things you discover will be your weaknesses. Weaknesses in the areas of your weaknesses, in the sense that these are the things you lack. These are the things you don't have. These are the skills you don't have to be able to function well in that career path. And for that reason, you are going to use that to identify what training do I need to take. I need leadership skill. I need to learn professional project management. I need to get a certification, if certification is one of the things that are needed to be able to launch or to be able to function well in that career path. If that is the case, then I need to get a certification. So I need to get learning. I need to develop my capacity. That's where you decide what courses am I going to take. And one thing I'll always recommend for you is Dexnova Consulting Limited is one place. As long as this country is concerned, you can get quality training, quality trainings. If the area you want to launch into is what they offer, like project management, business analysis, you are in the tech industry, and then you want to get some agile trainings and certifications, then I would say Dexnova Consulting Limited. And another thing a lot of people, or the mistake a lot of people make in developing their capacity, is always going back to school. Yeah, I don't have any issue with that. Yes, I still, I'm still aspiring to even go further in my academic. But first of all, you need to know the career path you're launching into. Is academics one of the things you need? Is it more of academic trainings or academic degree, or it is better you go the professional lane? I always say for a lot of industry professional skills today, I would say going the professional lane is always the best option. You want to be an accountant, you learn with ICANN and become an ICANN certified project management, you study and then get PMP certification. You, with good studies, with good training from Dexnova and then years of experience, I can bet you that you even deliver projects better than someone who will spend 4 years learning, maybe doing MSc in project management. Yes, so there are some areas you need to, from your assessment, you'll be able to know what approach, what learning approach is best for this. So there are some areas where professional trainings and certifications may not actually be the ideal thing. Then academics is the ideal thing. Then you have to go to that area. For the areas where professional trainings and certifications is the ideal thing, then you need to approach it through professional trainings and certification. But you only know this when you've carried out good assessment of the career path you want to go into, and then you're able to take good decisions. So after you've assessed yourself to discover those areas you need to develop your capacity, the next step is developing your capacity. And to develop your capacity, I will encourage you to reach out to Dexnova and then take trainings with them, and you will not regret that. All right, and then the last step is find a guardian and mentor. Yes, it's very, very necessary. You cannot successfully launch into any career path in today's world if you don't try to get people who have been there to guide you. There's some information you might not learn, you might never learn in school, even if you go to school to doctorate level. There are some information you might not learn even with professional trainings. There's some real-time information you can only gain through people who have been there, because the world keeps changing. What I learned maybe 1 year ago may not be obtainable today. So people who are there and have experienced what is happening might be at the right place to give you even better information. So don't just end it at getting trained, getting certified, and then you think you are good and you are perfect in everything. One of the best things you can do is always having a guardian or a mentor, someone who is there. And sometimes we make a mistake of not knowing how to choose our mentors. I want to launch into project management, and then my mentor is someone who knows nothing about project management. Yeah, you might have different mentors in different areas of life, but for the area you want to launch into, where you want to specialize, you need to have someone who can guide, someone who have better information, knowledge, and experience in that part to guide you. So I have said, first of all, identify the career path you want to go into, research that career path, and then after that, assess yourself to develop, to be able to identify your areas of strength and the areas of weaknesses you need to work on, and then learn and develop the capacity to be able to cover up, to be able to fill those areas of weakness. And after that, start gaining experience. Yeah, I think I skipped this. Start gaining experience. After getting the training, start gaining experience. A lot of young professionals always ask me this question. So where do I gain experience? How do I gain experience? Yes, I know we live in this part of the world where there's not much job opportunities. And sometimes even the few available are not available for entry level professionals, people who are just making an entry into that area. So they always need some level of experience. Yes, I'm someone, if someone asks me, so how did you start? I started by volunteering. I remember that when I finished my first degree, and then that very week, I finished my program. Even before I submitted my project, I had to go and volunteer in an NGO who were embarking on projects here and there. So that's where I gained my project management experience in development projects. They were having projects with governments, with embassies, and with international organizations. So I was able to volunteer. I think I volunteered with that organization for a year, like I mean for a year without being paid. And we know what happened when they wanted to actually employ someone. There was no need for them to go outside. All what they did was to ask me if I would want to work for them full time. I would like, I don't have a job. I would want to work full time. That was even before I left for my NYC. So volunteering is still one of the ways you can use to gain experience today. So even if I left, even if I was to leave that organization after maybe 2 years, 3 years, I could have that in my CV that I have been in projects team. Then I list the quality of projects teams I've belonged to, I have been in. And then that could give me a job, and I'll be able to gain experiences from volunteering. Another areas you can gain experience is free internship. Yes, I know internship here in Nigeria, you hardly have internship that you're paid except for very top companies. Yeah, volunteering, free internship might be costly, might be expensive in the sense that you're going to spend some months or even up to a year working and not getting paid, not source of living. But it always it pays off at the end, because at the end of it, the experience you are going to get from that volunteering or that free internship, you can use that to get a job. Yes, it works very well. It worked for me, and I've seen there are a lot of people I have mentored, and it worked for them, because you need experience. If you continue to wait for that your first job to give you that experience, you might not, because every job will always say, okay, at least a little level of experience, and you don't have it. So after learning, find ways to gain experience. Even if you are employed already, volunteer in project teams in that organization. Most of us are members of churches, members of respective mosques, or different institutions of worship, and there are always projects. There are always projects, whether they're trying to invent something or initiate something, build a new church building, just volunteer that you want to be part of it. And from contributing to those organizations, we are gaining much experience. Okay, so join project teams at work or at your professional institutions or alumni or wherever you belong to, and there's a project. Those are the avenues you can gain experience. If it is project management, if it is business analysis, you can also gain experience with any team that is involved in one business analysis activity or the other. And after gaining the experience, the last one, as I said, is find a guardian and a mentor. I have already talked about this. Well, as long as you're entering into a new path, whether it is your first professional career or it is you're transitioning to a new one, you need someone who has been there, someone who is still there, or someone who was there to be able to guide you through. So I just needed to make a snippet of the steps to transitioning or choosing a new career path. So from this information, I want to assume that from this, we have chosen a career path. Let's assume that, okay, after this whole information, after this whole process, we have chosen project management or we have chosen business analysis. Okay, so first, I will take up project management. Let's share some information about project management. But before we proceed, if there is any question regarding those steps I have given, please do let me know in the chat box and I would respond to them. And at the end of this training, I will also share this slide. I would do well to share the slide to each and every one of us who registered and are here in attendance. And stay tuned to the end of this seminar or webinar, because I believe that Dexnova has something in stock for you. I'm not going to disclose that, but just stay till the end of this webinar because there are some things you are going to go home with. Okay, so let's make some introduction to project management for those who are here just to know what project management is all about and all that. Let's just make some introductions to it. Okay. So we live in today's world that is very dynamic. When I say dynamic, things continue to change. There are a lot of problems and there are a lot of opportunities. In fact, every problem we have, even in the country today, brings opportunity for people. So while some people are crying about the problems, it is also an opportunity for organizations to launch new products, to make more money, to embark on projects. So we live in a world of today that there are so many problems in the quality of our roads, problems in organizations wanting to make more money, and because of that, they need to launch into other areas of business. I believe that maybe Dangote group of companies needed more income. They needed to make more money, and then they decided to invest in a very huge project of launching or building a refinery. So we live in a world where there are problems here and there are also opportunities here and there. And to implement the identified solution. So with these problems, organizations are constantly studying the market, reviewing information, communicating with customers on how to identify solutions and how to solve this problem. And from all these activities, they have identified solutions. So that's why different companies are embarking on different projects or the other. So when we say project, we'll get to understand. Most of the times, I remember when I didn't know anything about project management, and whenever I hear projects, first thing that comes to my mind would be constructing roads, constructing skyscrapers, building bridges, and the rest of those things. But never knew that as simple as a company wanting or trying to buy over another company, that's a project. Yes, so but we are going to understand deeply what project is about. Okay, so to implement the solutions that have been identified to these problems or take advantage of these opportunities, some complete works are needed. So let's say that Dangote refinery have identified that they needed to build a new refinery. They needed to build a refinery, and that is the solution, building a refinery. And for them to be able to build this refinery, there will be complex works to implement. Complex in the sense that it is not just straight where we carry this and keep here and then we are done. There are a lot of things, a lot of decisions to be taken, a lot of people involved. There will be a lot of communications. Finances are involved. How are we going to get this money to do this work? And even if this money is available, how do we handle all the risks that are involved so that we don't invest our money and then at the end of it, this project is abandoned? So all those interactions are the complex works we need to do. So you now see that it's not just about carrying something here and keep it and we are done. So this complex works needs to be implemented and they're all confusing. There are so many, it's not something we can do every day. How do we coordinate all of this? How do we align all of this? All these works that needs to be done, how do we arrange it in such a way we know the work that we will do on day one, on day two, year one, year two, till we are able to build that refinery, which is the final product, which is the solution that we wanted to build. How do we coordinate everything? As simple as clearing the land, communicating with people, getting the funds, buying equipment, awarding contracts, monitoring those contracts, and doing all these things till we are able to build the refinery that was to be built, which is the solution to that problem they discovered. How do we coordinate these things so that we can see the flow till the end successfully? That's how is what we call project management. Okay, let's go forward. So illustratively, this is a problem. You can see on my screen, problems and opportunities. So in black here, and this is the solution, because whenever there's a problem, there must be a solution. And implementing that solution is what we call project. So these are problems and opportunities. And after the whole studies, analysis, communicating with customers, consulting with stakeholders, we've identified so many solutions we can implement. I'm very sure that Dangote group of companies may have identified different areas they may want to invest in, whether a refinery, whether transportation, or any area, whether aviation industry. They might have identified different solutions, different projects they could embark on, maybe to launch a new airline, but they have to analyze all scenarios and ended up choosing to build a refinery, which is the final solution, which is the product they wanted to launch. So this is the problem, this is the solution. Okay, so in between this problem and solution is complex works. So you can see that you see the whole twist around communication, stakeholders management, the economic problems, inflation happening here and there, protests at the job site, a lot of things. How do we coordinate all these conflicting interests, all these issues, and at the end of it, we are, whether it is 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, at the end, we are able to build the solution we wanted to build. How? That how is what we call project management. So you have seen that this is the problem, this is the solution. And for us to be able to deliver this solution can be the refinery that was built. This solution can be a bank saying a problem can be the fact that there are so many queues in the bank hall, and the bank will decide to say, okay, let's launch a bank app that customers can carry out almost every transaction without coming to queue in the bank hall. So that bank app we are trying to launch is the solution to those queues in the bank. And in between these queues and the solution, the bank app, lies a complex work. This complex work is what we call project. So a lot of things, writing codes, doing graphic design, doing all kinds of things. But how are we going to be able to align this so that we know what we do first, what we do second, what we do third, till the final thing we are going to do to be able to develop that product at the end? That is what we call project management. So you have seen how the team here, let's assume that the lady in the middle here is a project manager. These are other project team members, maybe the business analyst, other people in the organization. You can see that these people have been able to take these complex works, complex in the sense that it is twisting, confusing, you don't even understand what is going to be produced at the end. You don't even know if it's going to be successful. Now they have taken these complex works, arrange it in such a way you can easily handle to be able to develop this solution. So this is what we call project management. Managing that complex work, coordinating everything, all the tools and the techniques, the interest from government, from the public, from other stakeholders, from people who invested in the project, managing inflation, managing even weather conditions that can affect that thing we are building, everything to be able to successfully build these products. That is what we call project management. So that is why project exists in different forms, not just about constructing roads or building bridges and all of that. So in pure terms, yes, I know that we've been able to see a picture of what project management does, that ability to coordinate things that we're confusing, coordinate complex problem to be able to have a plain way to delivering the solution is project management. But first, what is project? Project is a temporary endeavor undertaken to create a unique product, service, or result. There are keywords there, two keywords we always need to look out for, and this is what separates projects from operations. Operations are the things we do every day in our company. It continues. For example, Dexnova embarks on training. So what we do at Dexnova is training. We train every day. So that's operations. For a manufacturing company, maybe they manufacture medical syringes. That is what they do every day. They manufacture shoes. That's what they do every day. That's operations. Every interaction that ends up with those shoes we are trying to manufacture, that is operations, supply chain, procurement, and all of that. But a project is a temporary endeavor. That's the number one keyword you need to note to know what a project is. A temporary endeavor. Temporary in the sense that it doesn't last forever. So we know the exact start dates. That's why in every project, we know when we are starting the project. And then at the end of it, there must also be an end date. Whether we know it at the start, at the end of it, that thing we wanted to produce, there will be a date it comes to an end. And then at the end of that end date, we are able to produce a unique result. Unique result then means something that never existed before, or maybe something that existed and then we are upgrading it into a new version. So sometimes a project doesn't necessarily produce a new thing entirely. It can be changing from the old one. Maybe we had an office complex. We want to remodel the office complex. So we are not building a new house. We are changing the painting, rearranging the furnitures, and installing new fixtures. That is a project. A bank app that had existed, and then maybe after 6 months, there are new features we want to put and update the version. That is a project. So you are building new features into an existing bank app and then sending out to the customer to update. That is a project. So project exists in different forms. I'm going to show you different forms of projects. Also, we can also say that the project is a planned and organized endeavor undertaken to address a specific problem or opportunity. So let's say that we used to have Windows 10 in our organization. All the company computers or laptops are running on Windows 10. And then maybe it's becoming slower, there are some issues with it, and then we want to update from Windows 10 to Windows 11. As simple as it sounds, that is a project. It's going to start one day, and then at some certain point, it's going to end. And you know what the unique result is? The new operating system you have updated to is the unique result. We're not changing computers, just updating from the old version to the new version. That is a project. And that has been able to solve a problem. The problem was that Windows 10 is not running maybe our applications or the things we do in the organization again. So we want to update. Or our servers in our company, we want to expand the capacity of our servers, or we want to redesign the bank app, or sorry, our app, our software, or our website at our company. Those are all projects. So the whole activity of planning, coordinating that work to be able to deliver that final output is what we call project management. But at this moment, we are trying to understand what a project is. So just think about it. What can we say is temporary compared to what we do? Temporary. To you, getting a new certification in project management is a project. Launching into a new career path is a project, because at the end of it, you're going to start it someday. You start and then you plan that, okay, the first thing I will do is taking a training. And then after that, I will take a certification exams, and then I will get certified, and then I will apply and get a job in the new career role I want to go into. The moment you finally get that job, it was to be the last thing, you have completed your project of launching into a new career. So even personally, they are projects. In our churches, in our mosques, in our places of worship, in our associations, we all exist with projects. There is no organization on earth, from what you understand to be the meaning of projects, that does not involve in a project. Whether two companies are trying to merge with each other, that's a project. Whether the other company is trying to buy over the other company, that's a project. Whosoever is at the aim of managing that transition from one company to merging, the moment they successfully merge with each other, we have completed that project. So who is in charge of that major is a project manager. So sometimes we might not actually be called the role, like we might not actually be called the name project manager for us to carry out the activity of project management. We might be called project coordinator, project analyst, project implementer, or even other names. But the fact is that as long as we are managing or coordinating the entire interrelationship of activities, applying tools and techniques, communicating with customers, managing the whole activities toward producing the result our organizations or our companies delegated us to, that is project management. Okay, so whether you are talking about a company developing a new software or a new version of an existing software, or we are talking about a company trying to take over or acquire another company or merge with another company, or we are talking about a school trying to change its curriculum or trying to launch a new course, or we are talking about the World Health Organization trying to develop a vaccine for maybe COVID-19 or any other outbreak of disease out there? Or are we talking about Elon Musk's SpaceX trying to build maybe the first hotel in Mars where humans can travel to Mars and live there in a hotel, or on the sun? Or we are talking about Dangote building a new petrochemical plant in Lagos or anywhere? Or we are even talking about the Nigerian government deciding that they want to lift 30 million Nigerians out of poverty by 2030? Or we are talking about a Dibia trying to, or a native doctor trying to upgrade his shrine so that he will start running an e-shrine, so he will be able to consult with the gods virtually without having to pour libation? Or are we trying to talk about New Line Cinema launching or planning to produce the next series of the Lords of the Ring? All these are projects. So from this, you can see that there's projects in the entertainment industry, there's projects in technology, there's projects in the oil industry, there's projects in the banking industry. There is projects everywhere. Projects, as we used to think, is not just about building roads or constructing bridges. So where we would always say that whenever we say project, we think of the engineering industry or the building, the civil engineering industry. No, projects exist in all professions, in all professions. In law, I have trained people in law who wants to become project managers, because there is project even in their law. There's project in medicine. So there's project in almost every industry. So irrespective of your industry, that's one thing you need to know. I used to have that question a lot, like about 2 years ago. So as a lawyer or as a doctor, can I still be a project manager? Of course, yes, because there is project in every industry we find ourselves. So if you are in that industry, specializing in that industry, and also a well-trained professional project manager, it gives you an added advantage to be able to manage projects in that industry without necessarily having to find maybe someone from another industry or another sector that may not actually understand the technicalities of the industry. So you understand the technical professional project manager, that is an added advantage. So in every industry, there is projects. And if there is projects in every industry, there is need to apply professional project management. And if there is need to apply professional project management in all these projects, there is need for you, those who wants to become professional project managers. So make the decision today, because irrespective of your career path, irrespective of your industry or specialization, you can still be a project manager. That is why some of us are here, not because we want to become professional project managers, but because we want to add the project management skills to be able to enhance our already existing career path, whatever we are doing. Some of us here are bank managers. Some people here are medical practitioners. Some people here are pharmacists. But we are trying to add the project management knowledge, because there is project management in pharmacy. So let's say a team of pharmacists are trying to develop a medicine or a vaccine that will cure a particular illness. That is a project. The day we are able to finally develop that vaccine or that medicine, that day becomes the end of that project. And at the end of it, we have been able to develop a unique result, which is that medicine. So there is project in everywhere. So imagine that you are a pharmacist, a professional pharmacist, and then you're also the one managing that project of inventing that medicine. That is a plus. There's no way you cannot succeed compared to having a professional project manager whose part is not, whose specialization is not in medicine. So you now see that there will be need for a subject matter expert, like a professional in medicine working with that project manager. But if you are already specialized in that particular industry, and then you're also well-trained and experienced in project management, certainly the chance of that project succeeding is almost 100%. Okay, so now we understand what a project is. So what then is project management? It's as simple as managing projects. We know what project management is. What the project is. Then managing projects is what the project management is. So, okay, but let's break it down a little so we can understand better. So project management is the application of specific knowledge, specific skills, tools, and techniques to be able to initiate. First of all, you initiate a project, plan that project, execute that project, monitor and control, and close that project to deliver value and results. So you can easily plan and do something. Why? Why do I need to go and learn professional project management? You have seen there that you need to apply some specific knowledge. So knowing this knowledge, this specific knowledge, is what you are going to learn while trying to learn professional project management. In project, there is cost management, there is stakeholders management, there is procurement, there is schedule management, there is risk management, and so many areas, knowledge areas you need to learn. They are the total, I think, 10 knowledge areas. 10 knowledge areas you need to be able to learn, and these are the areas you're going to manage your project within. Project success is not just about producing the result. So if the company said let's assume that we had 10 million to be able to develop or complete a project, and then we are on our way to completing the project, we are doing fine, but we have already spent 20 million and we are 30% toward completion. Even when we are developing what we should develop, then we can say that that project is failing, because at some point there might be no money again, because initially only 10 million was budgeted for it. So that's why, as a project manager, one of the knowledge areas you need to know and specialize in is cost management. Okay, you could manage costs very well, but your inability to manage unforeseen circumstances that will come to affect your project could lead to your project failure. That is risk management. You can even manage costs and risk very well. So the project is according to the budget, and then you have identified risk, but the project is behind schedule. So this project was to be completed in 1 year. So you are already into the second year, and we are not even up to 80% completion. We have used 2 years already, but you have managed budget very well. You have identified risk very well, but this project is almost failing because we are not keeping to time, because solutions are to be produced to be able to solve a problem. And I began with saying that we live in a fast changing world. So if you don't deliver the project within the time frame, it could be that when you finally deliver the product of that project, that solution is no longer needed because time has changed, technologies have changed. I always use the example of Nokia. Back in 2018, they wanted to launch a new Android device, and then they took so long a time, even after announcing that they are making that product, they took so long a time to build that phone. And when they finally launched that phone came with a processor, a Snapdragon processor that was already outdated in such a way Smaller phones were even using more current processor, and the phones were selling cheaper. But they launched a phone that the processor was outdated and was even 2 times more expensive. So that phone did not sell well, even when some specifications were top notch, cannot even be compared to other devices. But since they took so long a time that when they finally launched the product, there was issues with that product. That phone did not actually serve the test. They needed tests at the time. They needed problems at the time. It came with a slower processor when people needed a faster phone. You now see that that product, that phone was a failure. And what did they do? They had to crash the price of that phone. And I believe very well that they made a lot of loss. They have to crash the price of that phone because that phone was launched with an outdated processor. So there are so many avenues your project can fail. That is why learning professional project management exposes you to this knowledge, these skills, these tools and techniques that you need to apply to be able to initiate a project and close that project, and not just ending that project. That sometimes you can end a project, and then when the project is tested, when the product is tested, it doesn't meet the set objective, it doesn't meet the requirements the clients, the customers wanted. And at the end of it, it's still a failed project, even when you have delivered it on time. So a case study of that of the phone. So even if Nokia had delivered it on time, but probably it came with an outdated processor, it will have still been a failed project because the customers do not like it. So project management is the application of that knowledge. And those knowledges I have mentioned that are 10 in number, including cost management, risk management, procurement management, and stakeholders management, scope management, and all of it, communication management, are all the knowledge. You need to apply all of them. And some processes also, there are about 49 processes in project management. You need to learn all of them, and you're able to integrate all of them to work as one so as to deliver the expected result. In other words, project management would also be the process and activities of coordinating those complex works. Remember the complex works we talk about. So the activities and processes you use to coordinate those complex works to be able to achieve the set result or produce the unique results that we wanted to produce, those are projects. Whether we are trying to build a new bank app or a new application, or we are trying to launch a new software, or we are trying to develop a new product into the market, we are trying to construct a house, or we are trying to launch a new movie, and all that, those are all projects. And our ability to coordinate all the activities that we have to do within the time frame, whether it's going to be 6 months, whether it is 1 year, some projects last as long as 4 years, 5 years, 6 years. And if we don't coordinate this, and people actually sat down to plan from day one till the year 7 we are today, and at the end of it, we have not lost track of what we needed to produce at the end. And then at the end of 7 years, we are producing the result that we needed to produce. That is the power of project management. And who is a project manager? The person that manages the project, right? The person that coordinates all these activities, because somebody has to be there. Imagine Dangote Group trying to build a refinery. Maybe about 10,000 people might have worked in that refinery. There have been procurements, buying raw materials, importing raw materials from outside the country, a lot of money spent. There must be somebody who is coordinating all these different activities, all these different aspects of the project, coordinating the human resource aspect of the project. It is managing the human beings that is there, solving conflicts at job sites, negotiating with stakeholders, with banks for loans, and a lot of things. It's as simple. It's easier than it's harder than I am saying. Okay, this and that. But imagine that edifice. Imagine that refinery as a whole. Just imagine how many people worked on that project and how many activities for years, from clearing, in fact, from conceiving the idea to buying the land, acquiring the loan that was used in building it, getting the forex, hiring people, importing the raw materials, starting the construction, doing everything till the last day that refinery was built. Imagine what is involved. If it was just to be done by different people just like that, certainly we will not end up with the result. We'll spend the money and then at the end of it, the result is not gotten. So that person that manages all these activities, blend them together, tailor them, carry out all these things to be able to ensure that the work works from the day one till we are able to deliver the result is who a project manager is. So a project manager is the person with the knowledge, the skills, and the ability to apply, coordinate, and manage the interrelationship of all the tools, techniques, processes, resources to successfully initiate, plan, execute, monitor, and control, and close a project to deliver value and results. That is who a project manager is. That is who you will be when you become a project manager. There are some things you need to have to be able to be a good project manager. I had already mentioned excellent leadership, your ability to solve problems, because certainly there will be problems. There will be risks, there will be stakeholders, different needs from different stakeholders, your ability to negotiate these different interests and have it not affect the project. You need that. You need to be a mentor because you will need to mentor your project team to be able to deliver results. You need to be a good communicator. You need to be a coordinator. You need to be an integrator. Your ability to blend every aspect of the project to work as one, because project needs to work as one to be able to deliver. Even if we have different departments, different sections working on the same project, at the end of it, it is toward one result. So that coordination, that integration has to be there. And the person that will champion this integration is the project manager. So for you to be a good project manager, you need to be a good leader, a good problem solver, a good mentor, a good communicator, a good coordinator, a good integrator. You can name them. You can continue to name them. And in other words, a project manager is a leader. A project manager is a problem solver. A project manager is a mentor. A project manager is a good communicator. A project manager is a coordinator. Whatever name you want to call that person, you can call that person who a project manager is. A project manager is also an integrator. That ability to make every aspect of that complex work, those thousands of activities that needs to be done, procurement that needs to be done, thousands of people coming, working on the project, ability to integrate all of it, all of them to work together for one result. That is who the project manager is. And that's why we call a project manager an integrator. So why is project management so important? Why is it so important? Some years back, I think some like 10 years back, project management was not really talked about as it is talked about today. So as I said, we live in a world where there are problems every day, and these problems need to be solved. So solving problems requires project management. It is project management that we use to solve a problem. Tomorrow, the market could make demand for this product. It is project management that we use to deliver, to be able to develop and launch that new product. So customer needs continue to change. So project management needs is needed in every organization to be able to get this result. Some could be from customers, some could be from shareholders in the company. Shareholders who want to increase the value of their shares. So because of that, they may want to buy other companies. They may want to expand the business, build new plants, just like Dangote did, or even expand their existing plant. All those are projects, and then they need excellent project management, because study shows that 92% of organizations or 92% of projects succeed when a provisional or a standardized project management approach is used. So it's not just about gathering people and start coordinating, doing activities because they know how to do it. We don't actually sit down to initiate the project, plan it, execute it, continuously monitoring and controlling it, and then delivering the result. Sometimes we even start doing works without even knowing the objective. What is the end product of this? So why is project management so important? It is important because it is a means to problem solving. I've already mentioned that. It ensures that projects are implemented in a way that meets all set objectives. So we need to have an objective we want to achieve, and then it is based on this objective that we will then plan, initiate, and implement this project. So with that objectives in mind, by the time you just start doing works without knowing what the end result will be, you end up producing nothing. So excellent project management is needed to be able to deliver results based on what the set objectives were. Okay, project management ensures projects are implemented within budget, time, scope, and expected quality. So it's excellent, standardized and professional approach to project management ensures that we have a budget, a budget baseline. That is a cost baseline. We have the scope baseline. We know the boundary of the result we want to have. So if you don't know what you want to produce, you end up building anything. So imagine somebody just giving money and say, okay, build a house. We don't even know what the structure of the house would be. So we just start opening foundation, making blocks. We don't even know the design, nothing. We don't know at the end of it what kind of house, what will be the quality of the house you are going to produce or build at the end. So excellent project management helps us to organize everything from the start, as simple as, first of all, identifying the problem, identifying the kind of house we want to build. And then from this kind of house, we now know how to plan, how much it's going to cost, what will be the boundaries of the work we are going to do, what will be the grade of the materials we are going to use, how can we develop this result to be in line with what the customer wanted. That is building it according to quality. That is what project management does. Another reason why project management is also very important is that it prevents the cost of rework and product rejection. I know some people will say, oh, we can easily just do this work. Why do we need to go and pay some huge amount of money to project manager to actually come and coordinate everything when we can just gather our artisans and do this work? Yes, it's possible that you can do that. But without excellent project management that is going to be implemented by a professional project manager, what happens is that the work will be completed. Just imagine any work we are trying to do, it will be completed. But what happens is that since there was no proper coordination, a lot of things will be reworked. So maybe after constructing a house, within 6 months, there are cracks. So we are beginning to work on those cracks, and then we are spending so much amount of money to do maintenance every six months. Whereas if that project was well developed, managed, and built, what will happen will be that house or whatever result, whatever was produced, will last for years, even before we start talking about maintenance. But within 6 months, we are beginning to maintain. And at the end of it, when you calculate the total amount of money you have spent within 1 year alone to maintain, you now realize that it is even more than what you will have spent to pay a professional project manager to manage that work and get that result done according to quality. Okay, so organizations that use project management practice consistently have 92% success rate in meeting project objectives. If you look at Nigeria now, I think I can't really remember the exact figure, but I know very well that it was less than 50%. That less than 50%, the success rate was less than 50%, which means that more than half of the projects that are initiated in Nigeria ends up failing. So that means that if 50 projects are initiated, or we start 50 projects in the country, be it government or in the corporate sector, that more than 50 will end up failing. So we have spent money for something that we will not complete. So either they are abandoned, or some of them do not meet the result, or they launch a product which at the end of it, the market did not buy their product. I have seen a lot of products in Nigeria that were launched and they died upon arrival, just within few months. I don't want to mention them so that people don't feel that. Yeah, but I know that there's some company products that have been launched in this country after developing them, and just upon arrival, they were dead. So what led to that? Probably there was no accurate or proper project management that involves good business analysis. Yes, we are going to get to the business analysis aspect of it and how they complement project management to be able to deliver results. So those are the reasons why implementing a professional approach to project management is very, very important. Because I always have a lot of people, a lot of organizations say, oh, we can easily just gather our artisans and then they will do this work. And what happens at the end is usually the fact that when that work is completed, the cost of maintaining that work, because the quality of the product that was developed was very poor, the cost of maintaining that product will now come to overshoot the cost they will have used to implement a proper and a professional approach to project management. Okay, so now you know why project management is very important. You also need to know why you should consider a career in project management. See, project management, without bragging, is one of the highest employer in the world today. Yes, one of them. So over 25 million project management openings by 2030. So between now and 2030, that's according to PMI, there will be over 25 million project management openings globally. That is project management alone, not other ones. Project management alone, taking about 25 new, like creating 25 new jobs. So organizations are trying to fill that gap because projects are failing, they are failing to deliver results, and we need professionals to be able to manage the implementation of these results. So that's why project management openings, like this is like the minimum, because it can grow more than this. All right, number two, project management is ranked as one of the top 7 in-demand industry skills by LinkedIn. So just think of how many skills we have in this world. Over 1,000 skills you can think of. But project management is ranked among the top 7, like among the top 7 of over thousands of skills you can think of. So you now see that is very, very important. So whether you are, even if you're not going to project management to specialize and then work as a project manager, you now see that this skill is needed in almost every job. That's why if you take time to read job descriptions, you always see things, even either they say outrightly, excellent project management skills, or they use ability to plan and manage and deliver tasks. That is projects. That's project management. Your ability to plan and manage and then deliver results is basically project management skill. So whether they use it directly, must have a project management skill, or they would say must have the ability to plan and manage and deliver results. That is another way of saying project management skills. So you now see in almost every job, it is hard to see corporate jobs today. Always, even if somebody is employing as a receptionist or a company is employing receptionists, they will always say that ability to plan and manage activities, tasks, and deliver results. So you now see that even in non-project management jobs, project management skills are very much needed. Okay, it is a cross-cutting industry skills and profession. Another reason why you need to consider learning project management is that it is one of the skills that is cross-cutting in every industry. There's no industry on earth. When I say industry, there's no sector on earth, whether you're talking about entertainment, health, technology, banking and finance, manufacturing, anywhere, any industry at all on earth has project management. There are projects. It could be they want to build new plants. It could be they want to expand their services. It could be they want to launch new products. These are all projects. And for them to get a good result out of it, they need excellent project management. So there is projects in all industries. So it is a cross-cutting industry skills. So it's not just one of those skills which, okay, for example, if you become a doctor, you're going to work in health. Say if you become, if you are an engineer, You're probably going to work in the whole in the engineering industry, whether in civil engineering and all of that. But project management does not have specific industries they operate. They are there in every industry. So it's a cross-cutting skill. So it's a skill that you can use. So even if you leave a construction firm, you can still get a job in any other industry because of your project management skill. Okay. So there is projects in every industry. I've already mentioned that. Number five, almost every corporate roles require project management skills. So I mentioned that already. So that's one of the reasons why you should consider learning project management. Whether you want to specialize and become a professional in project management, or you're just learning it for just to have that skill, almost every corporate roles require your project management skills. I mentioned it that whether they mention it outrightly, must have a project management skill in the job description, or they would say must have the ability to plan, manage, and deliver results. That is deliver tasks or results. That is purely project management. Also, it makes up 102 millions of 3.4 billion jobs globally, and is projected to increase by 2030. Can you think of how many jobs are in this world? Like, just think of the fact that we have approximately 3.4 billion jobs in the world, and one job alone is taking 102 million. That is huge enough. And it is projected to increase as the world continues to change more, as technology continues to advance in such a way that organizations needs to continue to change things and launch new products, do new things. The need for project management, professional project management, will continue to increase. So at the moment, 102 million out of 3.4 billion jobs, only one career path has taken that, and it's projected to increase. So the need for project management skills or knowledge cannot be overemphasized. So how do you begin? How do you launch in? I'd always say, get the knowledge first. Some people always want to go with certification first, but sometimes certifications can be expensive. But as a new entrant, that's different from people who have already worked and they have grown in their career path. Probably they want to transition. For whichever one, you need to first of all get the knowledge, learn it and know it. Then you can consider certification, and then you gain the experience, and that's how you become a professional in project management. For the certifications, I will always recommend these three certifications if you are going into project management. The CAPM, that is Certified Associate in Project Management, for for entry-level project managers. For people that have no broad experience in project management, you might consider the CAPM. For people with at least some level of experience, some level of knowledge in project management, you can consider the PMP certification. These two certifications are global, anywhere you go in the world. And then the third one, the Prince 2. Prince 2 there is called, I think the full meaning is Projects in Controlled Environment. That's what that Prince stands for, both foundation and practitioner. Prince 2 model to project management or certification is mainly used in the UK. So if you are currently in the UK or you are planning to move to the UK, I would say, okay, instead of the PMP, you go the Prince 2. Prince 2 is only used within the UK. I think the 5 countries of the UK, England, Scotland, Wales, and the rest. Yeah. So, but globally, PMP, CAPM that is offered by PMI are the top 2 project management certifications I can recommend that you go for. All right, so we have laid a good foundation. I've shared some valuable information about project management. But before I go make entry into business analysis, also lay a foundation into of business analysis, so we can also understand what business analysis is and the role they play in the development of organization, the role they also play in a successful delivery of projects. Before then, do we have any question, anything you want to ask that is regarding project management, how you can launch into project management, probably trainings you can take and the rest of that or just regarding the information I've shared. Is there any question? I will want to know that. So please make use of the chat box. Let me know if there's any question. You can just raise your hand. Maybe I can unmute one or two people to just ask questions and then we respond, and also take some questions from the chat box so I can also complete within the time. And also, please give me a feedback. If I'm sharing valuable information, please also give me a feedback that, okay, you understand what I have talked about. It is not an actual training, but just to introduce you to what project management is, what business analysis is, how you can make entry to these areas, what certifications you need to take, what trainings you need to take. And before we started, I had taken a few minutes to take us through the steps you can take to actually successfully transition from one career path to another. Or if you are here making your first career entry, which the steps you can take to be able to choose the right career path for you. Okay, I've seen a question from Satini. Are trainings available online in order to be certified? Yes, Dexnova Consulting Limited offers virtual training. Whether you want to go for virtual live training or you want to pay for a recorded training that you can do on your own pace, or you want to attend in-person trainings, we offer trainings both online and offline. Yeah, so at the end of this, you will see contact details of Dexnova Consulting Limited. And then I also believe they have some things in stock for you. That's why I said, don't leave this webinar till the end, because I know they have some promo, some offers for you, for those who wants to start your learning in project management, in business analysis, and other areas of certification, or sorry, in other areas of in other career areas which they offer trainings within. So stay tuned to the end of this webinar. As a beginner in project management, how do I go about getting the CAPM certification? That's what I said. It all begins with going for the training, and Dexnova Consulting Limited offers training for CAPM, for PMP, for Prince 2 Foundation and practitioners, and other certifications you are going to come across under both project management, business analysis, and also the agile frameworks. So Dexnova Consulting Limited, the organizers of this webinar, offers training, offers CAPM training. So if you cannot attend in person, there's no problem. You can attend the online class, the virtual class. And I know for some people who feel they don't have some needed experience, maybe after communications, you'll be able to know that, okay, I think it is better I go for the PMP. Yeah, because sometimes we have been involved in projects, but we don't know, because we always think that projects needs to be those big ones like the Dangote refinery project or road construction. No. But at the end of it, we come to realize that we have been involved in project, and we are even eligible to write the PM or to take the PMP certification exams. So talk to us at Dexnova. I think Divine is also in this meeting. Mr. Pius is there. And at the end of it, they will also share with you every contact information you need to know, you need to have to begin your career path. So you might end up realizing after your conversation with them that you can even go for the PMP certification, which is like the gold standard in project management. Okay, so what is the duration for CAPM training? Yeah, it depends on the training you want to go for, whether it is in person, where it is live. We have business day trainings that can run from Monday to Friday. There are some for most professionals. Most professionals will always love to go for weekend training, Saturday, Sundays for about 2 or 3 weekends. So which can equal to 4 or 6 days, depending on the pace. Okay, so it all depends on which one will favor you. The weekdays can be Monday to Wednesday, 1 week, and then Monday to Tuesday or Wednesday for the next week, or you can take it as at a stretch. That's for an in-person class. Most of the online classes comes during the weekend. But Mr. Pius, is here, and Divine is also here, that will give you as much information you need concerning any certification training you want to embark on. So stay tuned to the end of this. In the next few minutes, or in less than an hour, I will be done. So they will give you every information you need to know about any certification, including that of project management and other career paths you might choose to go into. All right, that question was from Ayomide. All right, I believe that you've been able to get, I've been able to respond to your question, and then they will also add more information regarding this. All right, thank you very much. So keep the questions coming. I would do well to visit the chat box and then take your questions. All right. So business analysis, you've come to know, you've laid a foundation for project management. You know what project is, what project management is, and the role project management plays in an organization. So when we say projects or project management, it's not just about maybe road constructions, the ones projects from the government. No, when once any institution, any individual, any organization wants to solve a problem, they implement a project. So let's say that Rotary Club wants to sponsor polio vaccination in maybe 10 local governments in Lagos State. That is a project. A company wants to merge with another company, that's a project. And every other industries, projects across every industry. Okay, so that's it for project management. But we're not actually done, because business analysis is one of the key professional areas in the corporate sector that aids successful project management. Okay, so let me take us back. Let me take us back to when I talked about this problem. So you have this screen. Remember when I talked about problems and opportunities and the solutions. So now the question is, how do you think these problems were identified? Or did we just stay and then all of a sudden we say, okay, this is a problem? These problems may have been identified through customer collaborations, through the survey. So most of us, we buy things from different companies, or we get services from different companies, and then at the end of it, they will send you a survey. Just tell us about the product, just tell us about how our services works, and how you felt about the product or the services we render to you. And you, in one way or the other, they are collating information. They are meeting with customers. They are getting information, gathering data from the customers, and they are reviewing this information, this feedback from customers, to know what the customers are saying. And if the customers have a need to change things about the way we operate, or change things about our product, or maybe upgrade our product, that is what leads to project management. Okay, but before we go into that, I asked the question, how do you think that these problems are identified? Also, how did we arrive at the chosen solution? How did we gather requirement features, that is data, analyze them, document them, and have the solution implemented to meet this requirement? How did we gather all this information? How did we communicate with customer and know what the customers will want, so that we'll be able to build it for the customer? All those activities, all the activities that is geared toward identifying a problem, analyzing that problem, communicating with customers to be able to know what the interests of the customers or the features of that solution, that application, that thing we are trying to build is, what the features will be, how they will want it to satisfy the needs of the market. The whole interaction with the market that is used to be able to take the decision and then build a solution to solve a particular problem is what we call business analysis. So taking us back to the problem and the solution, we now see that before we embarked on this project to be able to solve this problem, there have been some activities back then behind the scene. So everything doesn't just start with a project. Before a company decides to acquire another company or buy over another company, it did not just start on that day you heard the announcement. They had sat down to say, okay, we need to expand our company. So what do we do? Customers want more products. We are not satisfying the needs of the customers as much as we can. There are so many customers that wants to bank with us or that wants to buy our product, but we are not producing enough. So what do we do? So they could decide to say, okay, one option could be we build a new factory, or we expand our factory, or we buy another small company that is also offering the same product, and then we buy them and become as one company. So if, instead of taking years to build a factory and beginning production, we just buy a company that is already into production. So that could be the different option. At the end of it, they choose one. They could decide to choose a merger or acquisition, decide to buy a company out. That is the project. So you now see that before they arrived at this project, they had gotten information from the stakeholders, communicated with customers, know what the customer wants, get information from the market, study the market, do feasibility studies, gather data from the market, analyze them, and know where the direction of the market is. As I'm talking to you, even the way the things that are happening in this country, some people are there analyzing the situation, and they are able to identify one problem which, if the company invests in the next 2 years, the next 3 years, they will make so much money. I believe that during the pandemic, a lot of companies were analyzing how the economy will be after pandemic, and they were launching products that will aid those companies. There were some companies who moved from providing maybe office premises services to providing home services, because after the pandemic, the whole idea of working from home skyrocketed. So we now see that a lot of companies who used to provide services to office complex, there were a reduction in their market, because a lot of people were now working from home. So there's no need to do a lot of servicing at the office complex. So they had to change. So even when the pandemic was a problem, companies were analyzing the situation, gathering information from the public, analyzing data, and then making business decisions to be able to launch. And then at the end of it, they got all this data and they decided to launch into providing home office services instead of the public office services. They decided to launch into home office service. That launch into home office services, all the activities they did to be able to launch is project, and that's project management. And all the information, gathering the data, meeting with customers, knowing what they will need, are what we call business analysis. So the whole this, because at the end of it, you cannot develop a product into the market without communicating with the customers and knowing what they want and how that thing will satisfy them. So those activities of continuously communicating with customers, most of us don't notice that organizations we work with are getting information from us every day. What are they using this information for? They are using it to take business decisions, decide what project they need to launch, what new product they need to develop, what are the trends in the market, so what can we do, what can we change. All these changes are all project management, and these changes comes after getting a lot of information from the public, from the market, analyzing them and helping organizations take decisions. And this interaction of analyzing the market, getting information from the market, communicating with stakeholders, communicating with customers, getting their feedback, their requirements, what they will want to see in the product they are trying to launch, or what upgrade would they want to see in the product they already have, or the services they are already offering. These activities is what we call business analysis. So you eat in an eatery, and from time to time, they are keeping cards for you to give feedback, or you buy something online, they give you a feedback form to give you, for you to provide feedback as to how confident it was shopping on their platform, what they want you to, or what you had to recommend for them to upgrade or to do better. All this information are used to actually make their businesses better, to launch projects, to take business decisions. And everything that has to do with getting those information, analyzing it, using that information to take business decisions, and ensuring that these decisions that are taken is in line with what the customer wanted, and it meets the needs of the customer. All those things are what we call business analysis. And most of the times, the people performing this role are not actually called business analysts. They perform this role with different nomenclatures. That is why business analysis is as important as project management, even if they are not called um, business analysts. But we'll see the different names so that you don't say, or maybe someone doesn't say, I hardly see job openings called business analysis or business analyst. I see data analysts, I've seen this, but I hardly see. So if I study, will I get a job? We are coming to that. But first of all, what is business analysis? I know I have explained, I've laid a foundation, but let me just break it down further. Business analysis is the application of knowledge, just like project management. There are some knowledge that are needed. There's some skills, there are some tools and techniques that are needed to be able to determine problems and opportunity. So you now see, for us to even be able to start the project, manage the project, to be able to solve that problem, people might have worked to be able to identify that problem in the first place. And one of the ways of companies or organizations identify problems is through communicating with the market, the populace, the customers who uses their products or who uses their services, to be able to identify a problem which they need to solve through project management. So that skills, that ability, that knowledge and techniques that is needed to determine, first of all, determine a problem and opportunity, and then identify business needs and recommend viable solutions to meet those needs, and support strategic decision-making, working with stakeholders to elicit, gather, analyze, specify, communicate, and manage requirements and other product information, and defining benefits and approaches for measuring and realizing value and analyzing those results. That is what business analysis does. So let's say now, based on what you've come to understand about business analysis, you can now realize that business analysis is a continuous thing in an organization. So for example, we have identified a problem, and through that problem, how did we identify that problem? We identified that problem through continuous communication with customers, getting feedback from customers. Every sales we make, we get feedback from customers and know what their challenges are and how we can do better. Maybe the customer challenge could be the fact that their apps are loading very, very slowly. So from that feedback from customers, we are now initiate a project to be able to upgrade or expand the server that will be able to make our apps load faster. So that's what the work of business analysis. So identifying that problem in the first place. So you now see that even before the project to implement that solution, there was business analysis activities by continuously communicating with customers and getting their feedbacks, and these feedbacks are used to identify a problem. So even when the project is going on, the business analysis guys are still working, because as we are developing the solution, we need to continuously get the feedback of the customers. So we need to know that, okay, what we are developing is in line with what the customers wanted, what the shareholders of the company wanted, what all stakeholders of the company wanted. We make sure that it is in line with what everybody wanted. So we are continuously communicating with the customers, with the stakeholders, even when the project is going on. And at the end, when we have completed the project, the business analysis still continues, because even after completing the project and launching the project into the market, and the customers are launching the product into the market, and the customers are using it, we will continue to get feedback from customers. We'll continue to communicate with customers. We continue to gather information, data from the customers, and use this information and data we are gathering it, analyzing them, and continuing to take even further business decisions. So you now see that the business analysis guys, even after the project guys are done, continue to work, because the need of customers doesn't end. So customers' problems are identified, and then it is solved through projects, and then it doesn't mean that it is over. customers will continue to come with other complaints, and then we need to continue to satisfy customers' need, because if we don't, it means they will leave our products and services to that of our competitions or our competitors. So there's need for us to continue to communicate with customers, get their feedback, get information about the market, analyze this information, use this information to take decisions on our operations and our projects. And this whole activity of gathering this information, analyzing them, communicating with customers, using this to be able to develop products or solutions to customers is what we call a combination, or the interaction of all these activities is what we call business analysis. Okay, what's the cost of certification? All right, Alvin, I have seen your question. We will come to that. That's why you are going to share contact numbers. You are going to get to know the cost of the different trainings we have, and then the cost of the different certifications we offer trainings for. All right. Thank you, Alvin. That was a question from the chat box. So I was saying that the whole activity of getting information from customers, using those informations to be able to decide what project we need to embark on, what we need to change, what we need to do in our company, and then we embark on the project, we launch it, we continue to communicate with customer and get feedbacks, analyze those information. We interact with the market to know what is happening in the market, so as to be able to take accurate business decisions that will satisfy the needs of the customer and the business. All those things are called business analysis. So you now wonder, how do business survive in this fast changing world? There's no other way than continuing to know what the customers want. If you continue to satisfy the customer will continue to do business with us. Dexnova offers training services. If we continue to offer training services that the customers need, whenever a customer comes, we train them well, they are able to pass their certification exams, they're able to get a job, they will always come back, they will recommend us for others. That's just nothing but the fact. Or the same thing is applicable to every industry, every company out there. Satisfy the customer, they will all continue to patronize your business. And how do you satisfy them? It is by knowing what they want from you, knowing what services they want, how you can treat them, how your product should be able to solve their problems. And the only way of knowing is continuing to communicating with them. Keep any form you can use. Is it through survey? Is it through online form? Or is it through one-on-one meeting? Is it through any form of communication? You can, any form, any method you can use to get information, data from the market, to be able to use that to improve your product or take business decisions. Those activities are what we call business analysis. And it is through these decisions, this analysis, this information we get from customers that projects are able to develop or deliver product that will satisfy the needs of the customers. So it is through it that they'll be able to develop product that satisfy the needs of customers. So it's just like, for example, let's take developing a bank app. So we are developing a bank app. You don't reach out to the customers to know what will be the features of the bank app. Okay, use the app. What is the feedback? How do you feel? Is the user interface working fine for you? Or is it, if you just develop it based on what maybe the company thinks the customer would like. The truth is that customers will always use our products differently from how they were designed. So how can we design a product that the customers will use it the way we want them to use it and will be able to get the maximum satisfaction? It is for us to have their input. So as you are developing that product, we develop it based on what the customers want. You might not communicate with all the customers, but that is where analysis comes in. So we get as many, maybe we can analyze, sample, do sampling, random sampling, and then if out of maybe 1,000 feedback we had from customers, about 700 are saying that, okay, they need this feature over the other one. It gives a good indication that the customers need this particular feature, and then you need to bring those features. And what aids us to be able to know this needs of the customer is business analysis. You now see that for you to even succeed as a project manager, you need people who are communicating with the customers and providing feedback, and that is the work of the business analysis guys. So to implement the projects, the project management and management, the complements project management and business analysis. So how do these two work together? How do they need each other? So you now see that before a project is initiated, an organization had carried out continuous assessment of current operations or products to identify problems or opportunities. So many options to solve these problems or take advantage of these opportunities are developed and analyzed. And this analysis that they are doing to be able to choose which project we should embark on is what business analysis also entails. And finally, after this analysis, one solution is adopted. That is, one thing is chosen to be done. That is a project coming in. So it could be to build a new factory. It could be launching a new line of business. It could be updating our already existing product to a new version. Whatever it is, a project has been identified. That solution is not a project. Okay. So to effectively derive the needed result that meets customers' expectation, customers are consulted and their requirements are elicited. So for us to be able to build that solution or build that product to meet the needs of the customer, we continue to consult the customers, meet with the customers, use survey, use online forms, or use any medium we can use to be able to get feedback from customer. And all those activities we are doing to get those feedback from customers is what we call business analysis. Okay, all these pre-activities, pre-initiation activities, all add up to refer to as what we call business analysis. That's what I've already said. So even before we start working on our project, there was a problem that was identified. And this problem was identified through the inputs we got from customers. Who got these inputs? The business analysis guys who are analyzing this information from the customers, the business analysis guys. Okay, and then at the end of it, we use this to choose to take a decision. Maybe the management of the company could use all this information to take a decision of what product we need to launch, or if we need to expand our factory, or if we need to launch a new kind of product, or we need to update in the existing one. Whichever one it is going to be through project management that we are going to do that. And even when the project management, even when the project is ongoing, it is through business analysis that we are able to continuously get feedback of the customer to make sure that whatever we are developing is in line with the needs of the customers, in line with the need of the business investors, the stakeholders. So that is how business analysis aids project management. That is the interplay between business analysis and project management. So that's why you can see this diagram that says before and after project. So this project management, this business analysis after the project, before the project was initiated and carried out. This business analysis even while the project is ongoing. There is business analysis even after the project. In a simple explanation, this is the flow. This is how it goes. Before a project is initiated, the company or organization will be consulting or communicating with customers, getting feedback from customers. They use this customers' feedback to be able to take a business decision to embark on a particular project, whether to build a new factory or whether to update their new product, whatever project they have chosen. So while this project is going on, it is still business analysis that the organization will continue to make sure that we collect feedback from customers to make sure that whatever we are building is in line with the needs of the customers, in line with the stakeholders. And even after the product is launched and the project is completed, we will continue to communicate with customers. All this interaction with customers to be able to continuously know what is happening in the market so as to be able to take accurate business decisions is what adds up to what we call business analysis. So from this map, you see that business analysts continue to communicate with almost every stakeholder in any organization. So the project sponsor, they are communicating. If it was a software development project. We are trying to build a website. They are communicating with the software developers. They are communicating with testers. They are communicating with customers so that they can be able to get the feedback of customers as the customers test and use the product. They are communicating with every aspect of the organization, because at the end of it, whatever product we are developing, whatever solution we are building, has to meet the needs of all the stakeholders, the workers, the customers, the investors in the company, and even the government, because there are some products we will launch and it is against the laws of the government. So the people that are there to be able to interact with all the stakeholders, all the people that can affect our product or project, and all the people that this our product or project can affect, be it the customers, be it the shareholders, be it the staff of the company. They ensure that we continuously communicate with them. Those are what the business analysis guys do. Okay, are you going to share recording with us? Of course, we are going to do that, and we are also going to share this slide with you. Okay. Thank you for that question. Okay, so why is business analysis so important? It is important because we cannot do anything without getting the feedback of the customer. You cannot launch a product that they want the customers to buy and then you do not get their feedback. You do not try to develop that product so that it will meet their needs. You don't know their problem. The only people who know their problems are the customers themselves. So that the ones to best tell you, they are better placed to tell you their problems and how they want your solution to solve their problem. So it is from these discussions with the customers you are able to build a product that will solve their problems. And it doesn't just stop when you have been able to deliver the solution, because problems of customers, the needs of customers continue to change. Sometimes back, people were just looking for work to be able to leave their houses. In today's world, people don't even want to leave their houses again. So people want to work from their homes. So there's need for us to be able, organizations need to be able to initiate new system of work that will aid people to work from home. So there are always problems. There are always solutions to implement to solve those problems. And these problems keeps changing. The needs of customers keep changing. What the customers needed in smartphone 10 years ago are not what they need in smartphones today. So phones were just to make calls and maybe just call somebody and send text. Today, phone goes beyond just making calls and sending text. Phones have now turned to professional cameras and a lot of things. So the need of customers continue to change. And the only way you'll be able to get this need of customers is through business analysis. So business analysis is important because it helps identify problems and opportunities a company can invest in, or projects the company can embark in, solutions the company can produce and make more money from. It helps identify business needs and recommend the viable solution to meet those needs and support strategic decision making. So through those information we get from customers, we are able to take good decision. Imagine that we communicate with customers and all the customers that uses our product says they need this particular feature, and then you don't build that feature. Certainly they will leave your product and go make use of that of your competitor that is giving them that satisfaction. Okay, so business analysis also help in eliciting, analyzing, specifying, communicating, and managing requirements. What we call requirements is just basically the needs of customers. So it helps us eliciting, like we communicate with the customers to be able to know their needs so that we'll be able to solve them. So it also helps identify benefits and approaches for measuring and realizing value and analyzing those results. So when these needs that customer wants, how are you going to know that we have been able to meet those needs? So the business analysis guys will also determine that these needs have been met through the data they got from customers and even through continuous communication with them. It also keeps the company continuously communicating with the customers and the market. One of the worst things you can do as a company or as even an individual providing services is just to provide service and push it to your customers. You don't create any avenue to continuously, not just to communicate once, continuously communicate with customers to have their feedback. Every week, every month, create avenue where customers provide how they feel about the services, how they feel about the products they are getting from you, how they feel about the pricing, the quality. If it's a restaurant, how's the taste of food? How would they want you to improve? What areas do they want you to improve? If you create this avenue, first of all, you create that sense of belonging in your customers. You make them feel that, oh, they are needed, like their concerns are actually taken into consideration. That's one of the things a lot of foreign tech products use to keep their products ongoing. They intentionally keep out some features. Yes, they intentionally keep out some features. You know what they do? So when they keep out those features, they create an avenue for customers to use the app and provide feedback. So now the customers will now say, okay, we will need these features to be there. And then maybe 1 week or 2 months after, they will now create that feature, add into that app and update it and announce that, oh, we have been able to update our app and include this feature, this feature. Now, what happens? The customers who contacted them to ask for this feature will now feel happy that they are listening to them. So that is what that creates. And because they are listening to them, customers will become loyal to the company. So, oh, I love using the product because anytime I have challenges, I reach out to them and then they will solve it. Not knowing that most of these challenges they already know, they decided to create it artificially into that so that you can observe it and reach out to them and then they solve it and then you feel that, oh, they are hearing from you or they are taking the customers' needs into consideration. Okay, so I made mention of the fact that most of us, we can say that, oh, I hardly see business analysis roles out there. So why do I need to study business analysis? The fact is that business analysis is one of those areas that is done in an organization under different nomenclatures, under different roles. So just from your knowledge of what business analysis is, just think of the people within the company that are doing that thing, communicating with customers. You now see that marketers are also doing what they are also carrying out business analysis. Now see that this business developing executive is doing business analysis. Any role in a company that creates that medium for the customers to communicate with them and then get feedback from the customers and use that to take business decisions, that is a business analysis role. So whether you are called business analyst or you are called business system analyst or you are called requirement analyst or you are called product managers, in fact, you have more product managers in tech industry, or you are called product owner or you are called process analyst, whatever you are called, you are doing the role of business analysis. And when we say learn business analysis, what are we saying? We're saying learn how to communicate with your customers, gather information from customers, gather their requirements, their needs, analyze them using analytics or whatever medium, analyze them, and then use this information to take business decisions. That is what we say, what we mean when we say study business analysis. Don't just wake up and take business decision because you feel. Take business decision based on what your customer wants. That's why a lot of Nigerian products, sorry to say, don't last, more especially in the tech industry. We launch a product, launch a software, launch this, and then within 1-2 years, it is gone because we don't really take time to listen to customers and get customer feedback. It is worse now in banks. You step into a bank, make a complaint, and then it looks like nobody's even listening to you. That is where, and the other day I was asking a friend, when I saw, I think there was something I bought, and then I saw that the company has existed since 1850 something. You now see a lot of drinks, a lot of fashion brands, a lot of, you keep seeing 1850 something, like Guinness, and you begin to wonder, how have they been able to sustain their business for centuries and they're still running, they're still even getting better and controlling the economy? It is just nothing but continue to communicate with customers and get the feedback of customers. Let the customers feel that you care about them. And whenever they have a problem, you are solving it. And you are solving problems, you are launching new product based on the needs of the customers. Customers just want your product to solve their problems, nothing else. No matter how fancy they are, they just want to solve the problems. And problems are always different from different customers. The other person could be maybe the cost, the other person's problem could be the speed at which that thing works, the other person could just be anything. Continue to listen to all the customers and then developing their products, taking your business decision based on the needs of the customers. All right, so that is what business analysis means, and then that is how critical and important it is to the industry. All right, so lastly, into the agile mindset. One of the things that will aid your projects and the approach to your business implementation, to your project implementation is what we call the agile mindset. So I said that we live in a world that is characterized by so much changes. Some changes are so destructive. Destructive in the sense that the advent of this thing changes everything. For example, we have AI now. AI has come to displace a lot of jobs, doing a lot of things humans used to do. How are we going to compete in such a world? How can we continue to stay updated in such a world of business? It is nothing than to be agile. Sometimes we use the word agile to mean strong, like a slangs. Oh, you have to be agile, meaning you have to stay strong. You have to be adaptive. Whatever environment you find yourself, you need to update to that environment. So as I said, that we live in a world that a lot of things are changing so rapidly. Whether we are talking about technology, technological advancement, we are talking about changes in the needs of customers, or we are talking about fluctuation in economies, just like we have today. We are talking about new problems coming up everywhere and then requiring new solutions. We're talking about new competitions in the market everywhere. There is sudden changes in every of our sector, and for businesses to stay alive, even in our jobs, for us to keep our jobs now, we have to be agile, which means that we have to change with time. We have to be able to design the way we work to be able to change with time. As things changes, we are changing along. So I made an example of not about, okay, no problem. Before we go into that, think of any disruptive change in any industry. Okay, so I have some changes there on the screen. Not so long ago, we used to queue in the bank. For someone like me, I can't recall when last I stepped into the bank hall. Yes, like it's been a while since I stepped into the bank hall, because I can almost do everything today from my app. Even if I want to do deposit, I can easily just use the transport I will have paid to the bank, the money I will have spent to fuel my car, or for example, pay transport to the bank. I can just give it to a POS person and then use POS to deposit my money. My bank, I think two of my banks now, I can use my app to request for a new ATM card if the other one is lost or expired. So there is a sudden shift in the banking industry. And that is why a lot of people are using these fintechs even more than the main commercial bank. And if the commercial banks does not compete well, does not expand in their technology and move toward the latest trend, they will be losing a lot of customers, and a lot of them are losing customers already, because it's easier for you to carry out transactions with online, with the rest of Coda, OPay, and all of that. So there have been a disruptive change in the banking sector. Another area there have also been disruption is transport sector. I know it's not really a thing in Nigeria, but when you leave Nigeria, you now see that mass transportation is not really a thing, except it is a long distance transportation. So you now see that all those queues we used to fight to be able to enter Danfo bus, a lot of people have been able to handle that problem by just using private taxis, Uber, Bolt, Taxify, and the rest of those things. But just a few years ago, there was nothing like this. Everybody, no matter who you are, even if you have the money, if you don't want to drive, you have to fight with the Danfo guys. Okay. Another area is how we used to watch movie before. It's either you go buy or you rent a CD to be able to go play it at home. But people who are still in this business, I don't know why, maybe because of the environment. But today, just pay maybe 1,500 and with your phone or your tablet or even your TV, just internet, you are able to watch unlimited movies. Whereas before, you have to go and buy that particular movie or rent that particular CD to watch one movie. But today, that money is now used just to watch as many movies as you can think. Subscribe for 1 week, for 2 months. Another area there have been disruption is how we used to have meetings or how we used to collaborate at work. Before, every meeting they have to travel, meet one-on-one. Every meeting in our organization had to be one-on-one. So the cost of fueling, lighting, setting up internet in the office, doing a lot of things, chairs, table, decorating the office for us to have a conducive working environment or meeting environment. But today, we have moved to virtual works. A lot of companies have staffs across the whole world meeting and doing their work virtually. So all these disruptions have come to change things. And the only way to survive in today's world is for us to stay agile, being adaptive to change. But before we know what being agile or the agile methodology or the agile mindset means, just think of any big brand that has lost its market share over time. Use the chat box. In the next few minutes, I am closing. Use the chat box. Just think of one big company you know that all of a sudden they are no longer the big players in the market. They have lost their market share. There was one I mentioned some time ago, few minutes ago during this training. Just think of one, think of one, think of one before I move. Okay, these big guys, what do you think may have happened to these big guys before? These guys with the lots of the market, even the Samsung today were nothing to go for. Nobody heard of Samsung. Nobody knew of iPhone. These guys were the main guys. Talk of outrun to sorry, talking about all-round durability. Yes, great. Obere mentioned Mr. Biggs. Mr. Biggs was the household name whenever you talk about eateries in Nigeria, Mr. Biggs. What do you think may have happened to them? Nokia, Joseph mentioned Nokia. I already have Nokia on the screen. I hope there's nobody working with Nokia here so that nobody would crucify me that I used them as a wrong as a wrong example. So what do you think might have happened to these big names, Mr. Biggs, Nokia, and Michelin tires of those days, Eagle Cement of those days? What do you think might have happened to them? Just think. You might not necessarily give me an answer, but just think. It could be that at some point they couldn't compete in the market again, particularly Nokia. You know what happened? When the Android operating system came, the main operating system we used to have them were, I think the highest that made phones smart was Symbian operating system. So when Google launched Android operating system, I think that Nokia were not agile enough to know where the direction of the customers is going. So what happened? When Samsung started producing Android operating system phones, Nokia went for Windows operating system phones. That's exactly what happened. And at the end of it, that's when Nokia started launching Nokia Lumia and all those phones that were able to do things just exactly as our laptops. But Samsung went for the Android operating systems, and then Sony Ericsson, and then other smartphones of that time. But Samsung did not know the trend in the market, probably because they were not communicating with the customers. They were not, they didn't have that continuous communication with customers. Probably if they had done that, they would have known the way the trend, the market is going. And from there, we'll be able to choose which operating system they should use in their phones. Because at the end of it, what makes your product stand out in the market or become the main thing the customer needs in the market is not just not your name, not even your logo. It's just because It's just the value you are offering to the customers. As long as the product meets the needs of the customers, that is what stands you out. So for years, customers needed a phone with longer battery, the phone that can fall and then it is working fine. That is what Nokia were offering. At some point, the customer needs changed. They didn't really care about that. Probably they were looking at phones being smarter and then browsing the internet faster and all of that. Nokia did not toe that line. It went for Windows operating system, which was even slower compared to Android in smartphones, while Samsung went for Android, and that's how Nokia lost their market share. Even when they are back now trying to make Android phones, even as small as Tecno and Infinix have higher market share, more especially in this part of the world, than Nokia. So what is that thing that needs to be done to be able to? So the big question is, how do we develop products and solutions and manage them in such a dynamic world? How do we manage to develop customers, product solutions that meets the needs of the customers when the need of the customers continue to change over time? The only solution is staying agile, because change is inevitable. Change, the customers needs continue to change, technology changes, the things in the market continues to change. And with these changes, the needs of customers continue to change too. And if you don't continue to change along with the need of the customers, as when Nokia left the market, customer needed an Android operating system phones, while Nokia were producing Windows phones. That's not what the customer needed. So that is how they were not able to succeed in the market again, because at all times, the need of customers continue to change. And if you have to stay in top of the market, you need to change along. So when we say having an agile mindset or being agile, what do we mean? What does agile mean? It means being flexible, changing as time changes. It means continuous improvement. So you don't try to get it perfect. So we are building a new product for the market. We don't try to build it perfect before we complete and then launch the product. We do it in small steps. We continue to improve. We launch it, get the feedback of the customers, continue to improve it till it gets so perfect. Continuous improvement is one of the meaning of agile. When we say agile mindset, we also mean focusing on value. Focus more on delivering value for the customers, and customers will pay for your goods. Some products, some companies focuses on other things in such a way they end up developing a well-designed product, but those products are just designed well, looks beautiful, but they don't give value to the customers. They don't solve the problems the customers needed those products to. So being agile means focusing on customers. Another meaning of agile is customer satisfaction, satisfying the needs of customers. There is nothing else you can do in your products and services than satisfying the needs of customers. I don't know if there's any other thing. You are producing product, or you are launching a project to launch a new product or upgrade an existing product, and at the end of it, you add new features. All the features you've added are things that the customers do not need because it doesn't satisfy them. You are indirectly trying to drive your customers away. So customer satisfaction is one of the key things you need to do when we say you have to stay agile. Being agile also means customer feedback, very important. You cannot do without customer feedback, customer collaboration. You don't sit down to develop a product or services all alone, except you are the only one to buy your product or service. But as long as you are going to sell your products or services to customers, you have to develop it based on what they need. And one of the ways you get the needs of customers is continuous feedback, business analysis. Provide that avenue for customers to continue to give you feedback, and collaborate with customers and all stakeholders to develop your product. Okay, when we say agile mindset, we also mean incremental and iterative product development. Incremental in the sense that you continue to build small and small, get feedback from customers, and continue to make it better. one of the things that kills a lot of products these days is that they want to stay. Like, for example, Nokia decided to stay and develop that mobile phone I talked about from A to Z before they even make the customers to be aware of it or know it, test it, and then give feedback. No, they didn't do that. So they decided to build everything, and after they built, they launched. And accidentally or unfortunately, when they finally launched, it did not meet the needs of the customers as at that time. Whereas if they had built the product incrementally or iteratively, and also having the continuous feedback of customers to know what the customers needs now in such a mobile phone, they would have built or launched a product that meets the needs or that meets the needs of the customers as at that time. But they stayed on their own, developed that product, and when they finally launched, it did not meet the needs of the market as at that time. So when we say be agile or having agile mindset, we're also saying be people-centric leader. So care more about the people. In the places of work now, we have a lot of toxic work environment in such a way that even the employers are not, the employees are not comfortable working within that environment. So one of the things you can do now to be able to develop a good product in the market is have a good working environment, be a good leader, make your people to feel happy. I always tell project managers, instead of focusing so much on processes and tools, I would say focus more on satisfying your project team members. And when you satisfy them, when they are happy, they will take care of your processes and tools. But unfortunately, some organizations, some project managers focuses so much on the processes, on the standard operating procedures, making sure that you have to do it according to the standard operating procedures. They focus so much on the procedures or the methodologies, the tools and the techniques, and leave their team wondering. So they don't care about the emotions of the team. You don't know if the team is okay, the people in the team are fine. But if you take care of the people on the team, the people would not fail to deliver the project well for you most of the time. So being agile there also means being a people-centered leader. Okay, and lastly, being agile means being adaptive to changes. There are some products, there are some organizations that decides to do things the way they've always been doing it. No new, no innovation, not new. When we are living in a fast changing world, so today's world is fast changing, and for you to be able to survive in the market, you need to change along. So when we say agile mindset, developing agile mindset, whether you are carrying out business analysis or whether you are managing your project, means whenever we say having an agile mindset means adapting to change. So for example, you're managing your project and probably are trying to develop, your project is to develop a new software. You don't just sit to develop the software to the end before you launch it into the market. You need to do it in small cycles, showing it to the customer provide feedbacks, and based on those feedbacks, you are making the product better and better because the needs of the customers continue to change. So if you don't continue to get these needs from customer and develop these products based on the needs, you are certainly going to launch a product that the customers will not want when you finally launch them. Okay, so I have a picture on the screen for you. The first one is called the waterfall. Waterfall is how we used to develop products before. We used to manage all kinds of projects. First of all, we get the requirements, we plan everything, we come to implement according to how it was designed. And after that, we launch the final thing to the customer. So whatever we launch is what the customer has. So at some point, since when things started changing in the society or in the economy, we realized that, or people realized that, professionals realized that taking time to develop a product and then according to how it was planned, and maybe after 6 months we launch it, that a lot of products are launched and then they are no longer valuable, or they're no longer needed in the market because the time we started this project or this product, those things were needed. Maybe after 6 months, with the way things are changing within the economy or within the world today, this thing is now obsolete. So how do we solve this problem of having to launch product that comes and then do not meet the interest or the needs of the customers anymore, or is no longer needed in the market? How do we solve that? They developed a framework or a methodology called agile, a mindset called agile. So instead of us taking time to plan and doing design everything and having to do the work according to how we design, how about we do it in short increment, short cycles? So for example, we want to develop, we want to build a bank app. We build the landing page, show it to the customer, some customers, select customers and say, okay, test it, use it and see, does it work the way you had wanted? The customer says, yes, it works. Change this one, add this one, add this one. We take it back and do it again. Add those changes, take out the ones the customers did not want, come back to them, show it to them, and then they make feedbacks. We continue to do that maybe every two weeks, every three weeks, every one month. And at the end of it, as we are continuing, we are adding more features. We are upgrading that product. We are making it bigger and better till we have we come to the final stage where we show to the customer. The customer will now say, okay, we have exhausted everything we needed to have. Just think about developing a logo. If you sit down to develop a logo from the beginning to the end for your clients, at the end of it, the clients, you deliver the logo, they send it to the client does not like it. All your effort is is a waste. You've wasted all your effort, because at the end of it, you might likely go to start that design all from the scratch again. But if you decide to do a little work, show it to the customer says, no, I don't like this, change this one, change that, you go back, change it, add more features, you show to the customer says, okay, can you also add this? And then we use that approach till the final logo is designed. We show it to the customer likes it, or even if there is any change, it will be a little change. And then we could just make the change, and then the product, the logo is ready. But if you use the former approach, the waterfall approach, waterfall in the sense that everything starts from one place and drop. That is why water, if you go to a water fountain or a waterfall, you can never see the water climbing up again to drop again. So it just starts, everything starts from the up there, come down. So the same thing is applicable to the way you used to manage projects before, the way we need to develop all forms of products before. So we come to realize that some kind of product, some kind of projects doesn't need that approach, because at the end of it, the customers always reject what we produce at the end. So the agile approach to project management, the agile approach to product development was introduced. And what it means is that we develop products with continuous feedback of the customer. So the little we do, we show it to the customer tests it and provide feedback. The little we do, we show it to the customer tests and provide feedback. We continue like that. Every short cycle we show to the customer, and then we continue based on the feedback of the customer. We are upgrading, we are making the product better and better till the product is finally launched. For those of us who observe, this is what we call beta testing. So a lot of software industries, app developers use that as a form of agile approach to developing that app. So they do a little, and then the users of that app will use it, test it based on how they experience it. They will give feedback. They will continue to build more and more into it. So for you to survive, for any organization to survive today, you need to use the agile framework. You need to be adaptive to change. But is the agile framework ultimate? I will always say no. That is why for you to be a good professional project manager, you need to understand your way of work. Something PMI, Project Management Institute, calls the way of work. Way of work means you need to know all the methodologies, both waterfall, that's the traditional approach to product development or project management, and then the agile approach, so that you'll be able to know what kind of product, or if I manage these projects, what approach will fit better. If you are going to manage a house building or a house construction project, you realize that we need to plan everything and then come to build the house according to the plan. That is, we use waterfall. But if you are trying to develop a software for the market, where the needs, if technology keeps changing, we don't even know what will happen in the market in the next 2 weeks, in the next 1 month. We need to do it in small, short cycles show it to the customer so that even when that change comes, we can easily change along. So that is why the agile mindset is very important for you. So the agile mindset comes in what we call the 4 values of agile, which you are going to learn the moment when you start learning your agile and project management. And then they have 12 principles, and agile is implemented in different frameworks, and the most popular framework out there is what we call Scrum. So if I have to recommend for you to learn agile and specialize in one agile framework, I would always say specialize in Scrum. Scrum is one of the most, not even one of the, it's the most used framework. Over 80% of the time, people practicing agile are using Scrum. So there are others, XP, like extreme programming, that is used so much in the programming industry in tech, where they have to review codes and codes and codes. So Scrum is the most popular. Initially, Agile was developed to be used in the software industry, but today, things are changing in other industries too, that you need to bring in some level of agile into it, because the moment you try to do this, before you know, the need of the customer, and customers are always complaining, they always need new things, nothing satisfies them. So you need to find a way to take into consideration the needs of these customers, and that is what agile tries to introduce you to. So the moment you launch into your project management or your business analysis, you get exposed to an agile, to any of the agile, to all the agile frameworks, and then you choose the one that will best suit you. But 80% of the time, almost more than 90% of organizations that is using the agile framework is using Scrum. So if I have to recommend any for you, I would say learn Scrum. And it is just about managing project in short cycle, doing work a little, showing it to the customer. Based on the changes of the customer, you come back, update it, add more features, show it to the customer, come back, update it, add more features. We continue to build like that in small increments. We continue to make it bigger in small sizes till we have been able to build the full product or complete the project, because it is not every project we need to sit down and plan everything. The moment you sit down and plan everything, before you finish building it, just like it happened to Nokia, before they finish building their phone and launch it, and at that time, the processor they used was outdated. The market did not use that processor again, in such a way that even smaller phones were using even more current processor, and the phones were cheaper. So nobody wants to spend much money and buy a phone that is running with the old processor. So how do you solve that problem? It is for you to design the flow of your project to be able to carry out your project with continuous feedback of the market, continuous changes, so that if anything changes in the market, for example, if the processor had gone obsolete, what you will do is for you to build, when you get to the processor stage, you build that phone based on the current processor. Even before the launch, maybe there's also changes, you have to make those changes along. It is used more in the technology industry, because technology products are built in such a way that it needs to meet the needs of any technology you want to do today. If it doesn't meet the needs of the customers move along from it. I remember when ChatGPT was launched and it is used to generate text only. It was just a prompt to text generation AI. And people never had something like that. And all of a sudden, people needed the one that can change text to photos, to videos. And today, other ones have been built. You now see that people no longer just use only ChatGPT to change text, and maybe put a prompt and it generates text for you. People are generating photos. I think ChatGPT just launched another AI that is it Sora, something like that, that you are able to put in prompts just like you do for ChatGPT, and the prompt will generate a cinema standard movie video for you. So it is wild. Today's world is wild, with things changing, technology advancing, and if you must survive in today's world, you have to be agile. And there's need for agility. The need for agility cannot be overemphasized. To be very honest, the need for you to stay updated with the present trend. For you to build your product based on the feedback of the customer cannot be overemphasized. And one of the advice I could give to you is, if you want to specialize in project management or you just want the skill, you need to also learn agile and specialize in at least one of the framework, and the most popular framework. In fact, you don't even need to learn other framework. Just understand the whole agile methodology and then specialize in Scrum, and you'll be highly sorted after. It is highly sorted after in the tech industry. If there's anybody from tech here, will certainly agree with me that Scrum framework is what they use in building their tech product. So I would say learn and specialize in agile, and certainly specialize in Scrum framework, and you will be a value to your organization. And if you are pursuing the technology industry or the software industry, I would really say don't fail to learn agile. And one good thing, if you're coming to Dexnova to register or to take your project management training, you are going to also have the agile training. So you're not going to, except you want to maybe come to learn Scrum specifically, but your project management training covers the entire agile framework. And if you walk into Dexnova just to take your project management course, you're also going to go out knowing, learning fully the entire agile framework: Scrum, XP, Kanban, and all other popular agile framework. So we have been introduced to project management. You've been introduced to business analysis, and you've also been introduced to the agile methodology to product development and project management. And I strongly believe that you've made your choice and you're ready to explore the world of project management or the world of business analysis. And if that is the case, I would recommend that you contact Dexnova Consulting for all your trainings. And one of the things you're going to get is that even if you're coming to prepare yourself to take any certification exams, whether it is the PMP or CAPM, or whether it is certification in business analysis, one advantage you will have learning with Dexnova Consulting is that we will not just teach you or train you to prepare for the exams. Our training is so practical that you will also go home not just with what it takes to pass the certification exams, but what it takes to apply the knowledge and deliver results in your project teams, in your organization, in whatever role you're taking in your organization. So at Dexnova, if you want to go for project management, so you have project management certification trainings, the CAPM, as I said earlier, you can decide to go for the PMP, you can decide to go for Prince 2 Foundation and Practitioner. I said that CAPM and PMP is global, as I mentioned, and anywhere you go in the world. But for the UKs have decided to create their own model to project management and decided to create their certification that aligns with that model, and they call it the Prince 2. That is project in controlled environment, that is used only within the UK. Think, the UK, Wales, Scotland, England, Ireland, just the UK countries. But if you are not targeting the UK, then any other part of the world, including Nigeria, Africa, and every other part of the world except the UK, I would say CAPM or the PMP. And if you're going for business analysis, which is also a very vital skill to have, and then you want to get certified, I would say that CBAP, Certified Business Analysis Professional, is one thing, one certification or one training you have to come for, and that is the certification training we offer for now at Dexnova. And then for the Agile, we want to learn the Agile methodology and framework, PMI ACP, that is PMI Agile Certified Practitioner, that's ACP, is one of the skills by PMI, that is offered by PMI, one of the skills you need. And then we also offer the Professional Scrum Master 1 and 2. Professional Scrum Master is a certification for people who wants to specialize in one of the agile, in fact, the most used agile framework in the world, which is Scrum. Most of us may have heard of Scrum. So that is a training and the certification you will go for if you are anticipating specializing in the Scrum framework, which is the most popular, most used agile framework globally, anywhere you go in the world. Almost 100% of the technology industry uses agile. At Microsoft, at Google, and everywhere, they all use Scrum as the agile framework used in developing their product. Okay, and if you want to begin your journey, the contact information of Dexnova is there, and then you also share them in the chat button, and then Mr. Pius will also give you every other information you need to know about Dexnova Consulting. And remember, I said that Dexnova has some take-home packages for all of us who are here. So wait till the end to know that. And then I wish you I wish all of us success in our respective career endeavors. For those who wants to start our learning, I wish you all the best. For those who wants to transition from your present career path to project management, to business analysis, or to anyone, wish you all the best. For those who are changing industries, maybe you want to move from manufacturing or from operations, from engineering, maybe to tech and the rest, wish you all the best. And as you take that decision to embark on your career growth or launch into your new career or make that switch, I really wish you all the best. And as you learn with Dexnova or any other learning activity you undertake, I wish that you succeed in all your endeavors as long as your career growth is concerned. Thank you. Thank you for having me. And please, I would entertain as much questions regarding project management, regarding business analysis, and regarding the Agile framework as a profession. And for those who have questions regarding the training, certification, or what are the costs and the rest, Mr. Pius and some other persons from Dexnova Consulting would do well to respond to that. Thank you very much. If you need my information, I love to connect with professionals. I love to connect with professionals. So my LinkedIn uh, uh, URL is there. So you want to subscribe to my channel on YouTube where I make content on project management, business analysis, and the agile mindset and the agile framework. You can subscribe. My channel, it's only project management and the related field in project management, including business analysis and agile, that I make content. So if you want to follow and learn more about project management, please do well to subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow me on LinkedIn, and you want to reach out directly, you can send an email to me using my email address. I will do well to send this slide across so all this information will be there. Thank you very much, and God bless all of us. Please, I'm still in the meeting for your questions. Thank you. So I want to believe that Mr. Pius or Divine is there to take over from me. Thank you very much.
All right. Wow. Thank you so much, Mr. Kemini Jacobs, for this moment we have shared with you. I can assure you that if we allow Ekemini till 8 p.m. today, he won't be tired because because he has an insatiable passion for project management and associated areas, including business analysis, agile, scrum, and the like. So we want to say thank you so much. Before I go further to just reel out some of the other information, I don't know if we have any question for Ekemini as it relates to. Okay, I'm seeing a question. Say just like the CAPM certification for project manager beginner, is there any certification for business analysis beginners? If yes, what is the certification? All right. So I don't know if Ekemini want to speak to that.
Okay, can you hear me? Yes. The certification I had on my screen, the certified um, professional. Okay, I think certified business analysis professional is the beginner level certification in business analysis. There are other ones, but I think at Dexnova we don't offer the more advanced ones. So that's certified business analysis professional, CBAP, offered by certified by International Institute for Business Analysis, IIBA, is the beginner level certification in business analysis, just like the CAPM. So for now, I don't think we offer the advanced one. So for now, it is the CBAP that we offer, and that is the first, like the entry level certification. And if you want more information about business analysis certification, probably I can share the link to IIBA, that's International Institute of Business Analysis. I can share their website link so you can go through. The same thing with the Project Management Institute, PMI. So the CBAP I displayed toward the end of our training is the beginner level certification in business analysis. And sometimes I always encourage professionals. Most of the time, the trainings are almost the same, because at Dexnova we take time to train, give you, even if you want to go for the beginner level certification, we have to take time to train you with give you everything you need to know to be able to function well in that role. So our trainings can even prepare you for even the highest level of certification exam, because the most important thing is getting the knowledge. So we take time to give you all the knowledge in that field, irrespective of which certification you want to go for. At the end, it's left for you. So after our training, you can even see that you are well prepared. You are even in a better place to even go for a higher level certification. So that's one advantage you have if you come to, if you decide to train with Dexnova. So that's the fact that we take time to give you that knowledge. That's the most important thing. Is one thing you gain. So after the knowledge, you can even see yourself ready for even a higher certification than the entry level one.
Okay, so thank you so much, Mr. Kemini. The second part of that question says, is there any cost associated with all of these trainings? All right, that's from Ayomide Opebi. Olamide is Ayomide rather. Okay, I want to guess like the popular saying, Ayomide is Oliver Twist. Okay, so yes, there are costs associated with these trainings. Of course, we have been able to give you the foundation, the knowledge that you need about which of these career option or area of specialty that best serves your interest. So if you want to go further, acquiring knowledge and education also come with a price. So of course, there are costs associated. I will be sharing that with you shortly. All right. The next question is from Aderemi Owoade. It says, what is the difference between having um, MBA, MBF degree, and business analysis certifications? Okay. Why are project managers having challenges becoming CEOs? Is it because of lack of an MBA, MBF degree, and business analysis certification? Mr. Kemini, I don't know if that's what you can answer.
Okay, yeah, that's a very interesting question. Okay, first, what is the difference between having an MBA and MBA degree and business analysis certification? You can clearly see that they are both different things. Business analysis certification certifies that you have been trained on purely business analysis, and you've gotten all the fundamental knowledge and the ability to even implement business analysis. But when you go for MBA, I also have an MBA. MBA, I think, tries to prepare you for almost every area of an organization. So you're going to learn finance, you're going to learn accounting, you're going to learn marketing, you're going to learn operations, you're going to learn project management, you're going to learn almost every, you're going to even learn human resources. So people, that's where CEOs, so many CEOs will always go for MBAs, because as a CEO, as a manager of maybe an MD of a company, you need to be able to have a good knowledge across board. Okay, so it is different from a specialized area. Business analysis is not a specialized area in the organization. Project management is a specialized area. Operations and supply chain is a specialized area. HR is a specialized area. So for me, someone like me who wants to own and run a company, so I decided to go for an MBA, also because it will give me a general knowledge on how to manage a corporate institution or any organization. But at the same time, that is general knowledge. It's good to have general knowledge about a particular industry. But at the end of it, you also need to specialize in one. There's a difference between the general knowledge. Someone who goes for general, you can't know everything. That is why a CEO would be the generalist. And then at the end of it, we will need a HR specialist, we need a BA specialist, we need a project management specialist, we will need a safety specialist, and all those, we will need a finance specialist to head the finance department. So that is a difference. MBA is what gives you that general knowledge about managing an organization. Yeah, but the business analysis certification specifically trains and authenticate the fact that you have been trained and you specialize in business analysis. Okay, so the MBA is general. MBA is close to academics, just is close to having an MSc in business management. Yeah, but the only difference is that they go more professional compared to an MSc, which is academic. So business analysis certification certifies that you are specialized, you have specialized in one area of the whole entire organization, which is business analysis only. So one thing that makes you a good, okay, the second part of the question is, why are project managers having challenges becoming CEOs? I would say for project manager like me, I won't have any issue being becoming a CEO. Why? Because I have also, apart from project management, remember when I introduced myself, I said that I've chosen to focus on project management, but I have worked in operations, I've worked in supply chain, I've worked as an HR, I have gotten trainings across every odd areas that an organization survives under. My first degree was banking and finance. So I understand the whole finance aspect of an organization. I have worked for about 4 years as about 3 years as an HR professional. So I understand the whole this thing about managing the your personnel, the human beings of your project. I have worked in supply chain, the whole process of importing raw materials. I used to manage importation of raw materials from China for a syringe manufacturing company here in Akwa Ibom. So I also managed the whole logistics of sending out the raw materials to every part of the country. So I can be as a CEO because I have also been trained in other areas of the workings of an organization, not only in project management. Project management is only one. But that could be different from another person who decides to learn project management from the beginning of his career to the end and specialize in that. There is no problem about that. But that person also needs to know that if he wants to move into another area, like becoming a CEO, he also needs to learn about that area, because project management certification teaches you to manage projects, not the entire organization. But an MBA can train you to manage an entire organization. And an MBA is more than just a certification. Some MBAs are 2 years, some MBAs 1 year. It's almost similar to academic studies. Yeah, so that is a difference. The fact that a particular project manager may not be trained in other areas of the organization, that is why he might have difficulty becoming a CEO. But for others who have taken time to learn, for me, at least one of the things I do so much is investing in my capacity. I have learned. In fact, sometimes I feel that I had the opportunity this year to maybe do another master's. outside Nigeria was like, I've used my whole professional life to learn. Like there is no year that passes I won't go for a professional training or get another certification or expand my knowledge into another industry. No single year. No single year. So in that case, I can function as a CEO because I have learned every aspect of the organization, not just project management. Okay, so any CEO, any project manager that has issues becoming a CEO is because he has only studied and specialized in project management and hasn't expanded his capacity or his knowledge or experience to every other areas of an organization. Because when you're a CEO, the chief executive officer of the entire organization. So you are the head of the CFO, the chief financial officer, the chief human resource manager, and all of that. So you also need to know a little about human resource management, finance, operations, supply chain, because you'll be the ones receiving all these reports and at some points taking decisions. So you need to understand, even if you are going to have specialists working in those areas, when they report to you, you need to see the financial statements of the organization, at least have a little understanding if the company is healthy or not, which means that to function as a CEO, you need to have some level of accounting knowledge, finance knowledge, project knowledge, operations knowledge, supply chain, and all of it. So a project manager that has issues becoming a CEO because he has not developed capacity in other areas. He has only focused and specialized in project management only. So you ask, is it because of the lack of MBA degree and business analysis certification? The reason is basically because he has not developed his capacity in other areas that will make him a good CEO, like maybe finance knowledge, human resource, and that is what MBA does for you. MBA would expose you to every areas of the corporate management. You have a course on human resource management, you have a course on finance, you have a course on project, you have a course on operation. So at the end of it, you have developed some level of knowledge in all areas of management, and you can easily manage all these departments together. And that's what makes you a good CEO. So that reminds me, that even gives more information to project managers. The fact that you are specializing in project management doesn't necessarily mean you cannot still expand your capacity. Learn a little about finance, learn about operations, learn about supply chain, learn about human. All this knowledge would even enhance your role as a project manager. At the beginning, we had introductions, and one or two persons said they are here not actually to be a specialist or a professional in project management. They are here to learn project management because it is one of the skills they need to add to enhance whatever role they are carrying, they have at the moment. So a successful career is, all to me, I always say the equation to a successful career is one, specialization plus complementary skills. So even as a project manager, I need to also, I've specialized in project management, and then I also develop supplementary skills like operations, and all these things add up to even make me better in project management. So I hope that's been able to answer your question, Aderemi. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Kemini. That was very elaborate. I would have actually loved Aderemi to have backed it up with statistics. I don't know where the concept came from. Okay, because my CEO is a project manager. In fact, he has at one time he was the chairman, the president of Project Management Institute Nigeria branch. So, and if you go online, just as we were talking, I went online to look at some top project managers who became CEOs. You can go online and just do that, and you will find a whole lot of them who transitioned from project management to becoming CEOs. So that could be a subject for debate, but I'm sure with more research and finding, you will be able to find a couple of them who were project managers but became CEOs. Okay, so I want to assume
just to add to that, Mr. Pius, just quickly.
Yes.
If there is any profession out there which I feel can even prepare you to be a CEO. I think that provision is project management.
Yes.
You know why? Because in a project team is like a mini organization. So you have your team just like you have staff in your company. And then in a project, you manage all the 10 areas, which is almost like the same 10 areas of an organization. You manage costs, which is similar to managing finance. You manage schedule. You manage human resource in your project. You manage risk. You manage procurement, which is similar to operations. So your exposure to managing these 10 knowledge areas in your project gives you a very good foundation to going to be able to manage an organization as a CEO, because it is almost the same thing that you're having in a project that you're going to have. Just like you have your project team, you also have your company staff. Just like you have the finance department in your company, you also have the cost management in projects. Just like you have human resource management in your company, you also have the resource management area in your project. So successfully managing a project sets the tone for you to be able to manage a corporate organization. To me, I always see a project team as a small organization. So project management skill can aid your organizational management skill as a CEO.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kemini, for that intervention once again. All right, so I want to presume that we spent quite some time here listening to this career transforming webinar. All right, so you can see that we've posted some links on the chat box where you can follow us as an organization. You can connect with us on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, even Threads, and also visit our website where you can see a broader scope of what Dexnova as an organization actually offers. Okay. Someone asked earlier concerning the cost for any of the certification you might want to try your hands on. So I'm going to be sharing that shortly, and also the associated cost and the dates for these programs. First, once again, I want to thank every one of you who took our time to attend this webinar. I understand the challenges with network all across the country. Some of you, because of your quest for knowledge, you ensure that you were able to find your way here. Some of those who registered, in fact, we had close to 200 people who registered for this webinar, if not more. But just a fraction of that number came here, and you are one of them. So I must congratulate you that you were able to start the webinar from the beginning and stay through the I've spent here. Okay, so talking about the offer, let me just see if I could share my screen. Okay, let me quickly do that. Okay, I don't know if you can see my screen. Just confirm that you can see my screen, please. Just confirm in the chat box that you can see my screen. Okay, for the offers that we'll have and the classes that are scheduled, first, we have the project management, which comes up in April 20th, 21st, 27th, and 28th, which are weekends, Saturdays, Sundays. Then we also have, that is for the virtual class. We also have the physical class, which is from June 3rd to 7th. For the cost associated with the PMP, we have the original price was supposed to be 100,000 for our virtual classes per individual, but for this program, for the ongoing promo, we are doing 63,800, then $50 for those who are outside the shores of the country. Then the physical class is 149,000. All right. Then the certification, the business analysis comes up May the 4th, 5th, 11th, and 12th. These dates are weekends. Then we also have the physical class, which is from June 25th to 28th, which are weekdays. The fee 63,800 same, then also for 149,000 for the physical class. Then the ACP, Agile Certified Practitioner, we have May 10 to 12. Then we have June 22nd, 23rd, and 29th. Our fee is 63,800, but we don't have physical class scheduled for now unless on demand. We also have the Professional Scrum Master, the PSM, which qualifies you to take exam for PSM 1 and 2. So once you have taken this training, depending on your exposure and proficiency, you can either decide to choose to take the PSM 1 or PSM 2 exam. The training fee also is 3,800, then $50 for diaspora enrollment. Then we have the CAPM, which is May 8th, 18th, 19th, 25th, and 26th, which is for 60,000. Then for those outside Nigeria, $40 per person. Then we have, beyond the already discounted fee, we are having we're having additional offers for those who attended this session. And the code for you to enjoy that, promo or that additional benefit is the Dex Pro. Once you send us a message and you include Dex Pro, that is your access, okay? So the first option, the first offer is that the first 5 persons to pay and register, we get 2 free PDUs courses, okay? So beyond our certification program, we also have courses that are mostly soft skills. They range from sales, marketing, negotiation, leadership, team building, and the likes, which is on our LMS, okay? So these courses, aside being the fact that you will learn and gain and have certificate, the certificate you are going to obtain carries with it 10 PDUs. What that 10 PDU means is that you are able to use it for renewal of certification, because some certifications that are mentioned here, for example, the PMP, CBAP, and the likes, have expiring dates or validity period, as the case may be. So this certificate enables you, will make up that PDU, which is Professional Development Unit points that you can use to renew your certification once you have been able to meet the required PDU points. You can also use it for other certifications other than what we are offering here. Maybe you have done certification somewhere, you know, that is not even in the catalogs of what we offer. You can use them to do your renewal of your certificates, okay? Then the next one is that the first 5 people to pay and register for 2 courses, okay? Say you want to register for project management and business analysis at the same time, okay? You also get a free slot on the 3rd training, okay? Say, for example, you are paying for project management and business analysis. So we could, you could have the benefit of taking the Agile Certified Practitioners for as a bonus, okay? Then if you refer 2 persons or 2 people and you also get a slot to attend any of our courses free when they pay, okay? It's not enough to refer, but when they refer and they pay, you can attend any of our courses of your choice, okay? Then you also register and pay on or before Thursday, the 28th of March, 2024. You get an additional 5% discount on the already promo fee. So the promo fee that we have displayed now, if you are going to be paying before on Thursday, the 28th of March, you get additional 5% discount on this fee. So those are the packages that we have for you at this moment. If you need to reach out to us, we already have emails on the platform. Then I'm also going to be posting a number that you can easily reach. So that number is on the platform. You can confirm, you can see it. Her name is Divine. You can quickly reach her via that line. You can get her on the call, and you can also get her via chats, WhatsApp chats. Okay. So that is what we have for you at this point. I'm sure these offers are juicy enough to reward your attendance for today's session. Okay. At this point, I want to quickly step back and entertain questions from as per what I've just reeled out, so that we can wrap up the session quickly. Thank you so much. Do we have questions? Maybe you want to speak, you can just signify with the emoji, raise your hand and speak, or maybe you can pop it up in the chat box. Okay. Okay, somebody, I'm told that somebody chatted. Let me quickly see. Um, hold on. Okay, sorry. Toby, can you, okay, let me just check in. Okay, how about those that have already registered? Okay, so, okay, I don't know. That's Mohammed Sadis. I don't know. Have you registered before now? Have you registered before now? Okay, yes, you have. Okay, I'm sure what you have paid is not anything outside of this, or maybe way higher. But if that is the case, you can reach a divine. Then we'll see what how we can harness the opportunities that comes with this particular class. At least there should be a reward for you, at least for attending this session. All right. Okay, Victoria, also, how do we get the materials used for this webinar? Um, I'm sure we have your email addresses when you registered for this webinar, unless or except you didn't register at all. So if you have registered for the webinar before joining, we have your email addresses. We are going to use those email addresses to share the materials with you. I hope that answers your question. Okay, any other question, any other clarification, additional information needed? So just let us know so that we can quickly wrap up. I know today is Friday. Some of you want to be on the road as soon as possible. More questions? Okay. Victoria says yes, thank you. Okay. Okay, kindly send the promo code and device number to my email. Okay. So we will do that. We will do that as soon as possible. Okay, we'll do that as soon as possible. Okay. Okay, the facilitator has also dropped the link where you can connect with him on LinkedIn, and also on YouTube. Subscribe to his YouTube channel where you can get additional information on project management and the like. Okay. All right. So at this point, if we don't have more questions, we want to wrap it up and to thank every one of you for your time, for attending, despite the challenges. Okay. So the promo code as well expires. I just got an information that this promo code expires after 48 hours. Okay. Of course, you know, every code has expiring date. Okay. So I'm told that this code expires. The Dex Pro promo code expired after 48 hours. So the earlier we take advantage of it, the better. All right. So I want to say thank you so much for your time, and also to our facilitator for doing justice to this subject matter. You know, my goal was actually to have a larger house so that we can have a lot of people benefiting from this rich information that we got free of charge this afternoon. I want to implore you to look out for Dexnova pages on LinkedIn and other channels where you saw the promotion for this webinar, because from time to time, we come up with webinars like this that are free, that will help you to actually have a career direction and help build yourself. Or you are also in an organization and they are in need of a reputable training organization, you can also put in us for. You can also put us forward based on what you have experienced. We have lots of passionate facilitators like Kemini who will pride ourselves as our assets. Okay. Okay, Victoria Uzo, you said the agile method is prone to change as the project goes on. So how do we make sure the customer does not get confused from his original ideas? Okay, I think Victoria, this question should have actually come, during the course of the session, so we don't get to delay more. So maybe you can reach Mr. Kemini via email or whatever the link is that he has shared with us, so that we don't drag the class backward. Okay. Or Mr. Kemini, is something that you would have loved to quickly respond to?
All right. Okay. Let me try to respond
just in a minute, so that we can wrap up.
Okay, so but I will also encourage her to maybe reach out to me on LinkedIn, so maybe I can do detailed explanation. So the idea of agile is because customers' needs continue to change. So the aim is actually to make sure that whatever we develop is in line with the needs of customers. So we are not actually the one telling the customers continue to change. But since we normally, customers most of the time do not always know what they want, and this is what we call requirement elicitation. So that's one of the skills you need to have, and that's what business analysis will teach you, to be able to communicate with the customer in such a way that you understand the need, what they actually want. Among those confusions, certainly there will be confusion, but as a professional, as a trained business analyst, and as someone who understands the system or the product we are trying to develop, you need to communicate with the customer. And even amongst those, all the confusion and all the rubbish, let me use that, the customer would say they need, you'll be able to deduce the valuable requirements they need, and then build the product based on those needs. Change is not to confuse the customer. It is actually developed because in real life, the needs of customers continue to change. And at the end of, if you don't build the product based on these changes, certainly you are going to launch a product which the customers will not like. And if the customers does not like your product, certainly you are not going to sell. You run out of business. So you continue to update the product based on their need, not actually to confuse them. Okay.
Thank you so much, Mr.
Reach out to me on LinkedIn. We can even have a call and try to explain it better and more.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kemini, for that quick interventions. Okay, on my slide, on my screen, you can see the details for payment on the bottom of the page. You can screenshot it, make your payment, and send proof of payment to divine.christian@dexnovaconsulting.com for confirmation. As soon as you make your payment, kindly send the details to divine.christian@dexnovaconsulting.com. We have both the Naira accounts and dollar account as well, which are both domiciled with the GTB. All right. So I want to say thank you once again to the facilitator, and thanks to every single one of you who took our time to actually participate in this free webinar. All right. So at this point, I want to say thank you Enjoy the rest of your weekends as we look forward to, for some of you who have made the decision to pursue certification for any of this area of specialization, we look forward to seeing you in class. One good thing about this promo that we have talked about, or the code that we have talked about, you can pay now and decide when you want to take the course for the dates that have been displayed, or even if the dates that are on display are still not convenient for you, you can decide that, okay, later in the year, I will take the training. But most importantly, you will need to take advantage of that offer right now to actually ensure that you have it in your hand. As the saying goes, a bird in hand is worth more than, several in the bush. Okay. So thank you so much. At this point, I want to say thank you and God bless you.